We got 2 different kinds of pizzas. We're going to let you find people know which pizza we prefer.
Hey, I'll tell you what, wish in one hand, shit in the other, and you'll see what you get.
I don't think so. I know at a certain point I would drink bath water.
You know what?
And that wasn't good.
Was he a kid that liked to play with dolls?
Yeah. You know something about that, Lou?
You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up.
Oh.
Welcome in, everybody, to the next episode of Joe Kelley's Van Chronicles. Hello. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Very special edition of the Van Chronicles. I am joined once again by my friends, my family, the wonderful, the very funny, the Trash Boyz are back, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Josh Lewis and Josh Wagner. We had a fun time. It's a little bit older one, okay? I think we recorded this at the end of October, but we recorded a couple while I was visiting, so I just didn't want to put them out back to back. So this is a little bit older. As you will see, Josh Wagner is still partaking in Sober October, and this is the first podcast I've done with the Trash Boyz where tequila was not involved. Lewis and I drank a couple beers, but we did not drink tequila, so it does not devolve into absolute madness and slurred words towards the end. But if you want to support those guys, follow Josh Wagner on Twitter, ComedyMan Joshua, at ComedyMan Joshua, and Josh Lewis you can find on Twitter and Instagram at TheJoshFromTN. Josh Lewis also hosts a Friday the 13th podcast with my good friend Rob Haynes called Letters from Camp Blood. Check that out. It's a very funny podcast. If you're a fan of Friday the 13th, it's fun. And even if you aren't, just check it out. Give it a chance. They're really funny guys. I love them very much. As always with me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at UtilizeShrooms. If you want to support the podcast, utilizeshrooms.threadless.com is a great way to do so. It's a shirt store. You can get all sorts of designs, colors, and all that nonsense. But without further ado, I don't want to drag this out too much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in once again my friends, my family, my brothers, the Trash Boyz.
I think about that. I still think about the fucking Magic Pizza sketch all the time.
Magic Pizza sketch was dope.
I do think there's something more just to that sketch. Like I think that could be.
It could have a better ending.
Not even just the sketch. I feel like that's like the base for something more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I really do. Because that, like, I feel like that sketch, because you guys were kind of doing shit already, and then, like, and then I kind of jumped in. But I feel like that sketch just establishes, I feel like it was such a good idea of, like, establishing who we are as characters in, like, sketches, and, like, I just feel like it was perfect. I feel like it was so good.
Yeah, that shit, the Tom Brady one was
the
first one we did.
Yeah.
That was fun as fuck.
That was fun.
I was talking about someone tonight. Every single sketch, I was telling them because I was like talking about writing sketches, and what it was is someone was doing a sketch show here, and they said I could submit, and they're like, yeah, just mail me a script tomorrow, and I was like, I don't have any scripts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where those notebooks are anymore.
Oh man.
But I have them enough in my head, like I want to put them down somewhere. But we never wrote
Not really.
It would all get written the day of.
Yeah. I mean, again, the pizza one was probably the one where you wrote out the most, but even then it was a lot of just, like, we already knew what the idea was, so us just doing it. Once we started doing it, it was like, oh, we can just make this better.
I feel like the pizza one got written out more mainly because we did it twice. Like, we never did any of these sketches more than once.
That's true, yeah. Well, we had to give them something. No, we didn't. We didn't do it.
What did we do? What?
We're supposed to give them a script at some point for the second one, but I don't think we ever did.
Was the pizza one... No. Was the pizza one the sketch where we had the meeting for? Where we all sat, they sat us down and tried to tell us what to do? Which doesn't work out well.
No, I haven't been that angry in a long time. I don't know if I've been that angry since then.
You gotta cut it short. It's like, no.
Just like very, very clinically and with authority. Just being like, just the stops, you stopwatch. Yeah, that's gotta be cut in half.
Yeah.
I was so fucking mad.
And it's just like so dismissive. Because it wasn't even like, it seemed like it was such like the stories, it was like such like a so Hollywood thing, but it was in fucking a shitty house in Nashville.
Yeah, that's what it was to me. Is like it was a thing of like, you aren't giving us money to do this. Like, there's no money involved. You don't get to give fucking network notes for a meeting we're having in a living room where a ping pong table had to be moved so we could do it.
No, and for the and everybody else who was in the show, like people that did the other sketches. What are you doing to that cat, Lewis? But anyway, it's like, for us, anytime we do a sketch, it's like we're all comics, so the shit that we do when we perform, nobody tells us what to do. We do it ourselves, and this is what we do. And if, for the most part, if anybody tells us what to do, it's kind of like a fuck off sort of attitude.
Or it's somebody that I dearly respect that goes, hey, man, that's a really good bit, but how about you maybe do it backwards or something like that. Yeah. So we were like, oh, that's fresh eyes on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Instead of something that we've seen work before. And then a guy I've never met and have no idea why he's there go, cut that in half. Yeah.
But not even say it to us
out.
either.
Yeah.
It's like if I was like, Wagner, Lewis needs to cut he needs to tag that joke up or something like that. Like, do it in front of you. It's real shitty. And I'm sure it's irritating.
It was bad. Dude, do you want to talk about what the pizza sketch was?
Yeah,
we can if you want to.
Now it's this. Lewis, do you want to say what the pizza sketch is?
Oh, it's basically, in my mind, it was always kind of a Three Stooges sketch.
Yeah.
There's three good-for-nothing imbeciles that are very loving towards each other, three pals, and they want to get pizza, but they have reasons why they don't want certain pizzas delivered from certain places.
Which anybody can relate to. They really can.
If you ever try to order a pizza with friends, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Or just by yourself.
Yeah. And it's absurd. And then Joe finds out that he has a coupon to a place called Magical Pizza or something like that.
Magic Pizza.
And where they make all of your, what was it? All your
hopes and dreams come true.
All your hopes and dreams come true. So everything we ask, and it was almost like monkey paw type stuff. You would be like, can you make this happen? Or like, yeah, but if we do that, this happens. And we're like, that's fine. We don't care.
So my dad will love me.
Yeah.
Cancer will be cured.
Then they did.
Yeah.
The only thing they couldn't help us with was making our dicks bigger.
Yeah.
But that helped.
None of us need. For the record, none of us need.
That was just a topping
it was really funny, and also like what Joe said, establishing characters, because then Joe would go like, I really don't. And I was like,
I don't. Like, these guys, I don't need that at all. But I do. I feel like that was such.
But it turned out to be a topping that just made us have better self-esteem and like ourselves more. We're like,
fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Oh god, that was so fun.
Yeah, I wish that was recorded somewhere. So, I wouldn't mind that being on YouTube at all.
Wasn't that show recorded? I don't know. They fucking gave up.
If it was, it's probably done. I don't know. Because I was thinking, because in my head I was like, oh, we'll just write that down again. But I remember, I'm trying to even think like the stuff with the reason we didn't want to order the pizzas. There were like jokes there that I don't remember now. Like I remember the pacing of it, but I don't remember.
One because the sauce was in a bag. I didn't like that one.
Okay, yeah. I don't need anything that comes in.
Yeah.
Comes in a bag, and the other one there was a hair in it, and I don't want to eat pizza that makes my hair fall out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He said it looked like your hair.
Okay, we need to write this down.
I remember it, man. I love that sketch.
Good.
I think about this shit all the time. I really do.
Well, me and Wagner were talking about that earlier tonight. Just being like, we just need to write something.
Yeah.
Just need to get together and just do something.
That's something, and I'll just talk about it now. It's something I'd like to do like the next year is like just with you guys is like, we just write a pilot for something between like 15, 30 minutes. And like seriously, if we get it written, I'll put in the legwork to try and find funding and try and find grants for it because I don't give a fuck. I got nothing better to do. But if we get something written so we can like give to or have something, I keep thinking about it. I was thinking about that was the whole thing I was thinking about in Flint. Like I didn't think about doing stand up at all, but I was like, what else? It's like it's just like fucking around. And I think we could do something, man. Like the Trash Boyz, it's like it's a joke, but it's like it became a thing here, man.
It was cool.
In Nashville, it was like a thing, man.
It was weird.
People know the Trash Boyz. They really do.
Fun.
It's fucked up and it's strange, but it's like people know us as the Trash Boyz. And it's some garbage that we started doing, but it became a thing. It's so fun. Yeah, it's real fucking. It's very strange. It's like a little gang. It's fucking just some ruffians. It's fucking weird, man.
I mean, Wagner got that teardrop out.
Yeah.
Ever since we started, we're like, dude, we don't even know what you're doing.
God.
Like, don't get it filled in.
I just saw a picture and thought, look, I didn't know it meant something.
Isn't that like a murder thing?
So there's something with whether it's fill in or not, right? So if it's, I think if it's a hollow teardrop, someone died
that you love.
Yeah. But if it's colored in, you killed somebody. It could be the other way around, but I know that's the difference.
That's such a weird
Doesn't Steven Tyler from Aerosmith have those?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Hold on.
No.
You guys talk amongst yourself, and I'm going to look this up on my phone real
No,
quick.
Steven Tyler looks like a 90-year-old woman.
Yeah, he does, but he used to look like a 25-year-old woman.
I don't know. I don't associate Steven Tyler with tattoos at all.
Yeah, he has
But the whole filling it in or having it outlined because somebody you love died, or if it's filled in because you murdered somebody, it's weird that it's still the same. It's the same tattoo.
Yeah.
Just filled in. I don't know. What's Lil Wayne have? Is this an outline or is it filled in?
I feel like they're probably outlines.
Okay.
I don't think he's killed people.
I'll tell you this.
But do you think some people do it just for,
For sure.
Because
Attention?
it's the world we live in nowadays?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that.
It's a service tattoo. Makes me feel better.
Maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're
But
fine.
he had something like that on
way
one
wrong. That's
of
way
his
wrong.
videos. One of his videos, he absolutely does.
Maybe he
I
cried and
remember.
his mascara ran down his face or something.
It was a teardrop.
Yeah, I don't remember Steven Tyler having any tattoos.
I'm sure he has a tattoo somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah. Have you heard
He
him
doesn't look good.
attempt to do country music,
Yep.
which just sounds like an acoustic version of Aerosmith?
Not at all.
It's awful.
Is that like a new thing?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
Is
Any-
Aerosmith still making music or not?
I don't think so. I mean, they're all old as shit. I mean, it doesn't stop the Rolling Stones from looking embarrassed on stage.
So some people told me they play a really good show.
Yeah.
Rolling
I've
Stones
also
live?
heard that they have.
Probably.
also-
I'm sure Aerosmith's great live too.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, back in their heyday, at least.
Yeah. I don't know. Even now, probably for just the nostalgic purposes.
I've heard
But I don't
that
know.
the Rolling Stones has a band behind like the curtain, basically, that plays their
Oh,
music,
shit.
and they turn down all their shit, and they just have like a good band behind them. I've
Milli
heard
Vanilli
that.
style.
Yeah, absolutely.
No shit.
I believe there's some truth to that. I know a lot of bands, like as more technical bands, will have like a guitar player in the wings and stuff that
Yeah.
they don't ever talk about. So it's hard for me to believe they all aren't playing, but
Well, it's not that they're not
There may be a
playing;
guy
it's they
helping
have
out.
them turned down, not turned down off. They have them turned down to a certain extent.
maybe it seems like, especially from Keith Richards, that dude's ego is so big as a guitar player. That
Yeah.
that he wouldn't want to do that. But it could for money, maybe he would. I don't know.
There's a thing on YouTube. It's a series. It's like.
Shreds.
No. it's fucking Jimmy Page, Jack White, and the Axe. Is that his name from YouTube?
The Edge.
The Edge.
This
Excuse me.
may get loud.
Yeah, it was a documentary.
Something like that. Yeah, I just saw
Yeah.
clips of it, but that was pretty neat. As
I
far as
liked it a lot.
It made me have less respect for Jack White. Sorry,
In what way?
I just never thought he was that great.
Oh.
I thought he was good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I won't take that away from him. But I never thought he was like this phenomenal guitar player that people were creaming their fucking panties over.
Well, I think
And
it's
th-
what he does with the, like it's his arrangement. At least the White Stripes, or even like I listen to like that one White Stripes album a lot.
Yeah.
Elephant, I
Elephant,
think,
yeah.
whatever.
That's a
And
good
I
album.
listen to Rock and Tours, and what he does is like like the way he arranges what he plays is, I think, fucking amazing.
I thought it was just simple, decent rock and roll. And to me, that's saying something real good.
Well, yeah.
Because he took in a time that everything was like Limp Bizkit and Seether and all that shit. And he was like, I just want to play rock and roll. I don't give a fuck about all this dumb shit. And he played rock and roll.
But
And
it does
people
sound more
really-
modern than like.
It
than,
sounds more
you know what I
rock-
mean, like he did bring it into a new thing. I
Yeah,
think.
but I mean, to me, it was nothing new. He just was just doing that.
Icky
And
Thump. That riff in Icky Thump is dope.
I don't know it.
Oh man, the fact that it's like a guitar player and a drummer. That fucking song is like
Well, he
it's
has a little like a synth in that too.
yeah, but it's still fucking. I love it. I think that was
See,
on
that's
the album after Elephant, but anyway.
That's the thing about the White Stripes I'm saying is like what they do with what they had and the way he arranges things is that's why that band's so cool.
Yeah.
It isn't like I understand if someone was to be like, this guy's an amazing guitar player and you heard it, maybe that's not what you think of.
Yeah,
like, as
that's
far as, like,
absolutely
an Eddie
what-
Van
no.
Halen type.
Yeah.
But as
Technically,
a-
it's not magnificent at all.
But as a songwriter, he's fucking amazing.
Well, see, that's what I thought was weird in that thing that you're talking about, the This Might Get Loud or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Is that he was there with Jimmy Page, that was an innovator of guitar.
Yeah.
He was still doing blues riffs, but he took it to like another level. And then you had the Edge that had taken like simple rock and roll, and then he put it through all kinds of effects and stuff, and he made a new guitar sound and layered stuff before layered stuff was big. And then you had like just stripped down Jack White that wasn't that technically sound, because whenever they showed them like, let's play something that Jimmy Page wrote, and it was technically magnificent. And like the Edge was like, well, check this out. And it was technically magnificent. And it was like, okay, let's play Seven Nation Army or whatever it was. Where it was like, it was the simplest shit.
He's doing that on purpose, I think, in that. Like,
what?
I really
He was being ironic?
I don't think he's being ironic. I think
he's ironically a good guitar player.
No, I think he had a point to prove. Like, if you look at that, even like the interviews and stuff, he very clearly is coming out as as
Willy Wonka.
He starts off with like having like that little guitar he makes out of one string, and then he like way too cool with the cigarette. Is just like, who says you need a guitar to play rock and roll, and like walks away in the sunset. Like he was proving a point with that whole thing.
Sure.
That's what I think. I also feel like a huge dickhead for talking about Jack White. So.
Nah, it's not that big of a deal. I think the documentary thing, like just looking at the three people, I'm gonna relate it to wrestling because it's like evolution. You know, there was just in general in evolution, but in wrestling there was the Evolution stable, which was Ric Flair, who was the older guy. That'd be Jimmy Page. Sure. And then the Edge would be more the current guy, so that's Triple H. And then you got Jack White, who's kind of like the younger one. He's got something going on, but maybe it's not as sound or as like, I don't know, as technical as the other guys, and that's like Randy Orton sort of thing. So it's like evolution. It's like
well, sometimes to evolve, I guess you have to de-evolve a bit, maybe.
Yeah,
or something like that.
It's just steps along the way, and I don't know. Yeah. I like. What's your favorite bands you guys have seen live? What's your favorite one? Your favorite show you've ever been to?
I went to Lollapalooza in '95 or '96. I can't remember. I was around 14.
Okay.
And I fucking loved every goddamn part of it. Like
just
it was
the whole
like
thing?
Oh, the whole thing, the whole
were
experience.
You on drugs?
No.
Okay.
I got into a circle where dudes were passing around a joint, and I was like, yeah. And
rock and roll Lewis.
And they looked at me because I was obviously a kid. I looked like Hanson. I looked like a very angry Hanson growing up. And they passed it around, and it got to like me, and the guy was like, "Oh no." He's like, "I'm not giving a child this." Soundgarden was there. The Melvins were there. Rage was there. The Ramones on Adios Amigos was there. Rancid was there before they started making Garnier hair commercial jingles. Metallica was there. I love Out Come the Wolves and Let's Go.
I thought you said you didn't like that.
No, I love it. I absolutely
love it.
Nothing to
talk about there.
Yeah, exactly. End podcast.
Hostility. We need it.
Yeah.
Could you play it up for the people a little bit, Lewis?
Yeah, sorry. God damn.
We're gonna have some drama here.
With their music that I enjoy.
Go with the bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I forgot. It was me who didn't like it. In a turn of events.
But yeah, that was definitely my favorite. I got to see bands I'd never heard from really. Screaming Trees was there back whenever.
I remember Screaming Trees.
The dude from Josh Homme or something from
Eagles of Death Metal.
Not Eagle. Well, he was in Eagles of Death Metal, but from Queens of the Stone Age. I think he was playing guitar with him. I can't remember. It's a little fuzzy. But Metallica was there on the Load album. With the short hair.
Yeah.
And
did they get booed?
No, it didn't sound great. I'm not going to lie. Like, Soundgarden was before them, and Soundgarden really fucking nailed it. And then right after that, Metallica headlined. And it was the first Lollapalooza that was all rock. And Metallica it just sounded like they were just not trying that hard. If that makes sense. They were just kind of like, we're here. And that's completely different from all those videos that I watched growing up.
Yeah,
with the binge and purge and all that shit, and it was a bit of a letdown. But also, I was severely sunburned, like sun poisoning sunburn, because they wouldn't let you get in the shade. Like I tried to watch Rage from the shade, like 2 football fields away, like in the shade of like a concession stand, and a security guard ran me off. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking kids!
For being in the shade?
Fuck yeah, dude! I was.
Were you like in between 2 concession stands?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
But maybe. I mean, it's been 10 years ago.
He was almost really high at the time, so it gets...
Yeah, I was high on life. You guys have a favorite one?
Smoking ciggies. Wagner, is yours Acacia Strain? Is that
No. It's... those are great. Those are fun, but I think, unashamed, I will say I saw Fall Out Boy live.
Yeah?
And, it was so good. And maybe they said this to all the crowds, I don't know, but they said this was their last date in the U.S. and they were going to play for a long time tonight if that was okay with us.
Oh, wow.
And it was okay with us.
Is that in Nashville?
Yeah.
How old were you, like 14, 15?
It was also like my first concert I went to by myself and stuff.
Okay.
It was probably my first real concert, like not a church concert or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 17.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
That shit was so good.
That's fun. Mine was probably Hatebreed and Killswitch Engage. It was one of the most fun.
You saw Hatebreed live?
Yeah.
What was the venue like where you saw him?
It was at the Machine Shop in Flint. So it's like, it's pretty much, it was a biker bar. Like real, but they have like a stage. Like it's small. Maybe you get 250 there the most. And the last time Hatebreed was in town, I was too young to go because it's an 18-and-up venue. But somebody's like, shinbone got snapped in half.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask, cause, like,
Yeah.
was it like the most brutal shit of all time?
It was fun. Yeah. Well, yeah. It was pretty. People were going nuts. People were going nuts. I went in the back. I was like, I don't want to be a part of this.
No, dude, Hatebreed. I was talking about this with Evan Norman the other night. Like, with hardcore kids, there's different kinds. You know, there's, like, tall, skinny ones in tight jeans, and there's, like, younger dudes in cargo shorts. And then there's Hatebreed and, like, those Boston dudes who are all, I think Evan Norman said they're, like, bowling balls with huge arms.
Yeah.
There's like these, they're like these older dudes with huge fucking arms, like the guys with the hard stomachs, you know, like the guts, but like if you touch it, it's hard as shit.
Yeah.
That's what Hatebreed is, and that thing is horrifying.
Yeah, and that's pretty much like the Machine Shop is a haven for that in Flint because it's like it is again it's a biker bar, so it's a bunch of bald dudes. There'd be like these twin dudes that would come in like leather vests, no shirt on underneath, just a bunch of tattoos, not like super like tall guys, but definitely like big, like worked out. But they came to like every metal show that was at that place, and I never saw them get into the music or even look at the fucking stage. They'd come in after the show would start and look for the pit, and that's where they'd go, and they'd hover around it until they could just get in there and just like until it got rowdy enough for their taste before they would even get in. Just these two fucking bikers, and every fucking heavy show they were at there, just fucking kids up.
Can I say there's something beautiful?
Men.
Can I say there's something beautiful about that? Because those guys didn't go out to bars and start fist fights. Probably they didn't fucking probably go home and slap the fuck out of their wife. They just went, every other week, I'm going to go to a fucking metal show, and I'm going to,
which is the whole fucking point of the
and I'm going to get all this out of me.
And they wanted to find the asshole. Like
that's
good to
they
have,
wanted to bully
they
the
wanted
bully.
to find that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, man, those dudes are not people to fuck with.
No.
But they're to everyone.
There are people like who I've seen at shows that it looks like they work out just to beat the shit out of people at shows.
Yeah, and then I've been to shows before where I just see a guy that he waits till the pit comes over to him and he just cold cocks somebody. Just like punches.
That too, man.
And I think that's the backdrop. That's the backlash. That's the shitty part of it.
Well, it's a thing where it's shitty, but it's almost inevitable. It's like how do you have the level of rowdiness you want without one guy just being like, I'm punching someone in the face?
Yeah.
I went to Korn whenever I was like 17, and this is the day I stopped liking Korn. Also, that was a shitty show, dude. It was so
what
bad.
album would have been? Would have been like Follow the Leader. That's a good album, man. I like that album.
It was fun. But I went and saw them in Knoxville, and Head P.
Head P.
I fucking love them.
They still play in Flint like every other weekend. I shit you not. Yeah. They go to the Machine Shop. I looked to see who was playing. Head P was there for. They were there for Halloween.
I would seriously go. Halloween. I would seriously go see them again.
That's like their spot, man. That's one of the places they can thrive.
Are they from there?
I know, but people just people go out for that shit.
It makes sense. There's probably a lot of Jinkos.
Juggalos are big there, man, for sure.
Well, because where I'm from also.
Yeah,
it's still
the
a big
same thing. It's white trash, man. So it is what it is.
Fat pregnant ladies in tank tops walking around.
Yeah. Yep, that's about right.
Fucking Bret Michaels had a Rock of Love 3 casting at the Machine Shop in Flint.
Not even the first or second, but
Rock of Love 3 casting. It was supposed to be.
Where was the first one at? Boise.
Boise is progressive as fuck.
How many places do you got to go?
Dude, I'll tell you right now.
He did 3 shows. It was supposed to be 1 show. They added 2 because he couldn't find the right lady.
How do you get the
Love's tough, man. Love's tough.
They love him. They love him there.
I got some friends that live in Boise. It's like a fucking utopia for the liberal. They love it.
Idaho, Boise ain't bad, man. I've been through Boise. It's not a bad place.
The rest of Idaho, I have a feeling because of Ruby Ridge and stuff.
Where was the first one at? A smaller, less progressive town in Idaho?
There you go.
It doesn't work. That's not how.
Well, I didn't want to offend any of the Boise listeners.
I got a big following in Boise.
Yeah.
I do. They love me.
Boise,
I say, it ain't Idaho, it's Utaho. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Tonight on the Tonight Show.
Who is the hoe with Joe Kelley?
You the hoe.
What was that? Like, Jay Leno used to go on Carson and be like, "What's bothering you, Jay?" And he'd be like, "I'll tell you what." Like, fucking Joe goes on foul, and he's like, "So, tell me who the hoe is this week, Joe."
You the hoe, Jimmy Fallon. You the hoe. Who the hoe this week? You, Jimmy Kimmel. You the hoe. Just go. All the shows I get on. You the hoe, Piers Morgan. Does he still have a show?
Piers Morgan?
Does he still have one?
I don't know.
I hope not.
I haven't seen Alex Jones yell at him in a year or so.
Yeah,
I'll
Jesse
be
Ventura
honest,
said
man.
it straight too.
It's pizza's done.
The pizza. It's time for the Pizza Party podcast.
All right, guys, that's it of the podcast.
Now we're gonna get into the
Thank
real,
you so much for listening.
the real meat and cheese of this sort of thing. Well, it's got a cool, so we still got some time, and we're gonna eat on these mics. It don't matter.
We are going to.
Might as well. We got to sample the pizza. We're gonna let you,
yeah.
we got 2 different kinds of pizzas. We're gonna let you find people know which pizza we prefer.
What's the
And
kind?
why?
DiGiorno and
You brought it out immediately. You're not even letting it
Reggio's.
cool.
No, this is a different one.
This is the Reggio's.
Reggio's thin crust. It's a simple cheese and pepperoni.
It said it has a butter crust in
A-
the front of the box.
A butter crust. They also make a Chicago-style deep
The
dish,
pepperoni's good, but
which
butter
we were
crust.
thinking about maybe getting. Reggio's is from Chicago, Illinois, 60620.
That's
Also,
a pizza town.
Scruff McGruff is from Chicago, Illinois, 60652, though. But
McGruff the Crime Dog?
yeah, Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652.
You remember that commercial
Was
that
it-
well?
That's brainwash, man. That fucking jingle.
Were you supposed to write them or something?
You could.
I think he sent you like a newsletter or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Newsletter and like a patch or something you could wear so everybody know you're active in your community.
Yeah.
Cartoon dogs.
Pretty much a Dare shirt, but a cool dog that wore a spy jacket. If
Yeah, no, I remember
right.
who it was. I just don't remember like why I needed his address.
I don't either. I'm pretty sure he sent you something.
Yeah. Back in the day, everything had a physical address that you could mail something to and get something back out of it.
Yeah.
Like you could probably write the Rice Krispies guys, Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Yeah.
And they would send you like
I
a.
never did that.
You never wrote anybody?
I wrote Kirby Puckett. It's the only person I ever wrote.
I wrote the
I wrote a
Easter Bunny.
soldier one time. I did do that. I wrote a soldier. There was some.
Say write a letter after that because somebody's gonna be like, he wrote a soldier.
I wrote a soldier.
Tell him how everything he's doing is wrong and everything he knows is a lie.
No, I did the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I was young then.
You said everything you were doing was
We
wrong.
met.
It wasn't so jaded yet.
We met in the summer, and we were gonna break it off when he got shipped overseas. But it was too special, and then, he went away, and distance didn't help our relationship, and I tried to keep it going.
Where did he go? Did you want to go with him?
What?
Did you want to go with him?
No, I didn't. I did not want to go.
Okay. I didn't know if it was that far yet. Do you know where he went? Did he tell you where he went?
Oh, he was in Iraq.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the most. It was the most dangerous part of Iraq.
Fallujah? Wasn't that it? I'm pretty sure that was where that's where they dragged that burning corpse through.
It was
Something like that.
It was IED Minneapolis. It's the worst part of
What are you doing?
the worst part of Iraq.
Why were you writing a soldier anyway?
No, I did. So my mom, there was a
So your mom, huh?
there was no. It was like a thing.
Writing your mom's soldier.
She was already married to an ex-soldier and hated him, so I don't think she would go for another one.
Talk about
But-
your dad.
Yeah. No, it was a thing. She worked at like a Christian organization. You could write a soldier and just be like, "Hey, thanks."
Oh.
And I remember I was like really political as a child, but the other way I just listened to my dad. So I was like, and all these people who say your war is bad, I don't like them. Like, because there's a lot of protests against that war at the time.
Did he write you back?
I think, you know what? Let's get to the bottom. I never thought about it. My mom said he did, but I never saw it. So I think he didn't.
That guy died, dude.
That's what I was thinking. There's a chance of that
Oh
happening.
man.
I wonder. I don't think he died.
Well, I wrote the Easter Bunny, and I got a letter back.
Really? What did it say?
I don't remember. But I showed it to my friends who told me the Easter Bunny wasn't real. And I was like, I got a letter from the Easter Bunny, so definitely real. But I think it was just like my grandma and grandpa. I called the Easter Bunny, too, when I was a kid. Called him a couple times.
Has a phone number?
Yeah. I could never see the phone number. They wouldn't show it to me, but they go dial it, and they give me the phone. They dial the number, and then go, "Is this the Easter Bunny?" Then go, "Our grandson Joe wants to talk to you," and then I talk to the Easter Bunny.
Just the Easter Bunny?
Just the Easter Bunny.
What did the Easter Bunny say?
I was just thanking him for all the candy.
They didn't do it for Santa or anything else. They picked the Easter Bunny.
Well, it was just because the only time I'd go down to Florida was for Easter, and that was like my grandparents down in Florida. That was their friend Jack. It turns out it was Jack. I found out later it was just Jack.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, pal.
Silly. But yeah, like I was just the Easter Bunny. Joe wants to talk to you.
Did he put on a funny voice?
Yeah. Hey, Joe, did you like the candy? I'm like, yep. Thanks. And then I give the phone back.
That is nuts. You could like make up something as insane as the Easter Bunny, but if you had a regular voice, you'd be like, that's fake.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
Yeah, if it was just like, "Hello, Joe, I am the Easter Bunny."
You're like, hey, I don't think this time traveling bunny here is real anymore.
It shatters your fucking world.
Well, it probably worked for Santa Claus, but the Easter Bunny would not. Because really, you just got to have. Well, I guess it'd be like a deep, jolly voice, but
Some sort of cartoon.
you can't be a
voice.
giant bunny and talk like a person. That's creepy. That's fucking weird.
It is kind of weird.
You think it was so it's like an accent he has then?
I don't. He just had. It was just like a high pitched voice. That's all I remember. I think I called him twice. And that's it. But.
So my grandmother raised me, and whenever my mom was moving back to Tennessee from North Carolina with my sister, they had a pet cat named Brutus, and the cat stayed with me and my grandmother, and it was just a shitty cat. It was a terrible cat. It was lazy, and it's a cat, but it just wouldn't even wash itself, so it wouldn't even clean it. It didn't even give you like the good parts of a cat. And my sister would want to call it and talk to it like once a day while they're in the process of moving, be like, "Let me talk to Brutus." And we would just hold the phone out, and she'd go, "Meow, you doing okay? Meow, meow." So I got sick of it. I know. I got sick of it because I hated her. And so I got on the phone, and I was just like, and my grandmother was just like, "Don't fuck with her too much, you know." And I was just like, "Hey," my sister's name Christian. "Hey, Christian, how are you? It's me, Brutus." And she was like, "Oh my God, you can talk?" Because she was little enough to still believe it. And I was like, "Yeah, I wish you hadn't abandoned me." And I went through a whole scenario. I was on the phone with her for a good 15, 20 minutes to where I was like, "Well, they're letting me call you right now from the cat jail." And she was like, "Cat jail? What happened?" "Well, because nobody loved me, they're going to put..."
How old? Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
I'm 5 years older than her, so she was probably 8, so that make me like 12 or so,
so you're
12
You
or
were
13.
already a piece of shit
You're
that
gonna
early?
Oh, absolutely.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's also really I'm gonna give you props on that. That's a creative.
It's really good.
That's a really good one.
Oh,
I wish
dude,
I would have done that.
I got hit so fucking hard, and I was just like, "Well, it's been nice knowing you. I'm going. They're going to put me in an electric chair." And she was like, "Oh no!" She's like crying, which made me love it even more. And I was just like, "Here we go. Oh, I'm done." Sorry, that last part falls flat because it's sad.
Well, it's like
No, it's good.
one of the most creative things I've heard a kid that age do, and also one of the most fucked up things I've heard a kid that age do.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was great. Overactive imagination, man.
It makes me not feel bad for a lot of things I say.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, my sister.
I don't think I've ever done that to
She
anybody.
remembers that vividly. Like, she's very mad at me.
How'd she find out it was you?
Oh, because
you showed up with a black eye?
because they it was because they called her back while she was inconsolably crying because her favorite pet that she's ever had just told her,
about to get executed.
just made her feel bad because she abandoned her. Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
Oh, come on! If y'all had, well,
No,
you
it's
had a
great.
sister,
I'm not
you
saying
did.
it's great.
It's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
No, it is funny. It's just also fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked
very
up. It's
funny.
totally fucked up.
Yeah.
I used to prank call my grandparents. I used to prank call them so much that if they got a call from like a telemarketer, they would think it was me. Like they would, I would just get calls like, "Put Joshua," my family's house, the house phone rang. Like, "Put Joshua on the phone. He just called us," and like I didn't do it. It was like just. I used to prank my grandparents.
If they go, "Why'd you call us?" You just go, "I didn't."
I didn't do it. Like, yeah, you did. I know you called. We came on the answer machine. Someone's talking crazy.
What would you say? Would you try to be like a telemarketer? Did they connect dots?
I would call them and pretend like I thought I was calling a restaurant, and then I would just insist.
Would you just use your normal voice?
No, I would try to disguise it. I don't know how, but I would.
So you're a little kid, so you'd try to make it deeper.
I mean, I was imagine.
Can I get some crab cheese?
I was around the same age you were when you ruined your sister forever.
Yeah.
So,
whenever I made my sister become a teenager. Whenever my sister realized she's going to become pregnant at the age of 17.
Yeah, but I would just fuck with them, and even like up until a couple years ago, they thought I had called them like in the middle of the night, and I didn't do it. It was just a wrong. Like I hadn't done it in a decade.
So a couple years ago?
Yeah, I hadn't done it in a decade.
Well, they still have a landline, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to Thanksgiving or something, and my uncle was there, and he's like, "Yep, I know about your little call the other night." They didn't even do it. I would do that whenever I left their house. They had like a bunch of like a clock in every room, like an alarm clock, and I would just set the alarms all different fucking times and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. A thing I thought was funny that I still think is funny that you can't do as much anymore. They had a
death
knob.
threats.
It's not so funny nowadays.
Yeah. Calling in bomb scares.
I would wait. They had a TV in like the den.
There's a time when that was okay.
It was hilarious.
There probably was.
I'm gonna kill you.
Click.
Anyway.
No, I would wait until they like went outside and I would go in their second TV, and I would turn the volume all the way up and turn the TV off. So that next time they watch it and you shouldn't do that to old people. I don't know that now. You shouldn't like.
That'd be startling.
Yeah,
you shouldn't
terrify them.
You shouldn't scare them. I would do that. I would put a rubber band around the water spray thing all the time on the sink.
So
yeah,
that's
that's
timeless, man.
That's
that never gets old.
I saw a video the other day of someone doing that. I was like, I didn't do that.
It's still funny. It's still always funny. Just go home and wash my hands. God damn. It's not that bad. Nobody gets hurt or anything like that. All you got to do is change your shirt, but it's still fucking hilarious.
It's a good prank.
It's so fun.
Did you ever do any prank phone calls, Joe?
I did some prank calls. Yeah. There was one. It was just, none of them were that good. I had one buddy who was real good. His name's Jake. He lives out in L.A. now. He does like photography and video shit. He's real good. He's a real talented dude. But he was so quick. Like, he called a record store and was talking about wanting to get his record to have them like sell it for him. And he kept like, he just started rapping to him. He's like, look, it's real good. And he started coming up with his raps, and he just started rapping like, and it was just silly shit. And he did like this freestyle about the Undertaker, and it was so fucking funny. But he was real good. But we do that shit. Just call people, and or Chinese restaurants are always fun, you know, because they can't. You can always just speak sort of broken English, and they're like, okay, I think I know what you want, but I'm not sure. But they like the Chinese restaurants are easy to fuck with. Oh, they were anyway. I don't know if they still are.
We used to, for some reason, there was a number. I forgot what it was, but it was like 1-800. I think it was 1-800-777-7777, which is why it was so easy to remember. And it was like a Mexican dating line or something. I forgot what they said it was, but they spoke Spanish when you called, which to like a 10, 11-year-old boy in Middle Tennessee is like anyone. That's hilarious. You know, like, haha, you're different than me. That's fucking funny.
I was gonna say it'd make me horny. Some lady talking like, wow, wait.
And I forgot, but it was like it was honestly just funny for us to hear someone speak Spanish. We just be like, you got to hear this, and then a guy would speak Spanish, and it would just be the funniest thing in the world. Does.
Whoa!
Like, hang the phone up, yeah.
I feel so much better about myself.
Por favor.
I don't know why it was so funny to hear someone speak Spanish, but it was. We'd even say anything fucked up, we'd just be like, see, they're speaking Spanish.
You're different.
It was funny.
I don't know. I fucked with my mom real bad one time. It wasn't even a prank call. It was when I was...
You're just being honest.
No. I mean, I've done that before, and I always feel bad about that. Just trying to be honest.
I used to lock my mom in the closet for a couple of days.
Jesus Christ. I don't believe that.
I mean, she had plenty of dog food in there.
Yeah.
Your dad will whoop you.
Nah, he wanted the peace and quiet.
It was like Halloween time. I was working... It was the Flint Film Festival. That's what was going on. I was working for the radio station in Flint, and we did a broadcast from the film festival, and there was like a makeup artist there. So they wanted somebody to put makeup on, so I let them do it to me. So it wasn't like scary or anything. It just was like they put like a bunch of like open wounds and like bleeding shit and like black eyes and just looked real fucked up. And I didn't tell
So
him.
that sounds scary.
Nah, it just looks like you got beat up real bad. Like you got the
okay.
fuck beat out of you. And so it looked great. It looked so cool. So I didn't tell anybody what I was doing that day. And then I just went home. And I remember my mom, there's a big window. So you got to go through this little hallway to get into the back door of my mom's house. And there's like a big window, and you can stand in the kitchen. You can look right out the window, but you got to walk through the hallway. And I walk by there, and I just hear her go, "Oh, no, he's hurt." And she just runs away.
Runs away from you?
Runs away because she can't stand to like look at me. Because it hurts her heart so much. Because it's like he's hurt real bad. And like I'm just standing by the door before I go, and I'm dying laughing. Like I'm laughing so hard. Like I gotta pull it together because I gotta commit. Like I gotta make sure she thinks that I'm hurt.
Jeez.
So I did. I pulled it together. I went in and I was like, yeah, I was getting gas. A couple guys beat me up real bad. She's like, we gotta go to the hospital. I was like, no, I'll be all right. I'll be good.
That's also like insane.
So bad.
Insane mom shit where she was so worried she didn't take a second and, like, because I'm sure
She
it wasn't.
hasn't- yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't
she-
like perfectly real. You know what I mean? I'm sure if you looked at it.
Oh, it looked real good.
okay, never-
Yeah,
I would
because
assume
I
it'd be, like,
I'd
kinda
sent like
shitty.
pictures of my sister and my cousin. They're like, "What the fuck happened to you?" Like it was like legit, like good fucking movie makeup shit.
Oh, okay.
So it looked great.
Well, that does make sense.
And even
yeah.
my uncle, he lives next door. He came over. I was like, and after I told my mom, I was like, let's get Uncle Kevin. She's like, yeah, let's do it. Like now she's on board with it. So we go and get him, and he comes over. He's like, dude, you gotta go to the hospital. Like at that point, I got a towel and like holding up to my nose and shit. And he's like, you gotta go. And I'm like, Kevin, it's makeup. And he's like, no, dude, you gotta go to the hospital. Like he didn't get it. He like even after I told him it was fake, it was like it looked so good. It was fun. I had a good time that day.
Dude, there's something about
I
like
don't- that's
just a
what-
good old fashioned prank like that.
Oh, it was so fun.
That's hilarious. Even though it doesn't like go too far or anything like that. Like nobody's life is.
I
like,
took it to the internet. I put pictures on the internet. Like, I made a weekend out of it for sure. I definitely did. Like people were talking. Like I was getting phone calls and shit. It was fun. I had a real good time. I had a real good time fucking with people. That was real fun.
There was a time when pranks like were the thing. Like
They still are in some
you
ways.
guys, no, but I mean like in your personal life. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
There was a time
yeah.
when nothing was funnier than putting shaving cream in someone's face. You know what I mean?
Or farting in your buddy's face when
Well,
he's asleep.
That's always that's
Yeah, that's never gonna
and
stop.
that does happen a lot. Sorry, Josh.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, you got me.
It's always so good.
It was so like we love pranks so much that at a certain point like we'd all be too excited to fall asleep to prank somebody, and I remember people like pretending to be asleep just to be like because we're gonna do the prank now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they're not asleep. We don't care. We just want to put this shit on someone's face, and then we'll get back to our lives.
It's so fun.
The phone pranks, man. That's going to be a lost art. That's going to be something that just doesn't make sense to future generations.
Yeah, they have stuff now. I know telemarketers at least have where you can like throw your number way off because like they can,
trust me, they try to get money at me all the time.
Yeah, because you can tell because it'll have your area code and like the rest of the number will be kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, and somehow they can do that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it could come back.
Discover Card can do that too.
I feel like it is the thing now where everyone takes everything so seriously now. Though, like you get in trouble for even like not even if you didn't do anything wrong. If you just bothered somebody, like the chance of you getting in big trouble are higher now.
Probably.
Because we used to just call people and just bother them. You know what
Yeah,
I
you
mean?
just
Like,
go through the phone book and go
Yeah,
through like the home
that's-
numbers and just
Exactly.
It's so great.
here's a phone
man.
number. Let's just call them and see what we can make happen.
I used to call people in my grandparents lived in this like place way out. It was a super small town, and I knew their the first three letters of every phone number in that town was 666, which was super funny because it was like the most Christian little town you ever
For
saw.
real?
Yeah, it was all
That's
like
for real area code.
yeah.
666?
No, the first three numbers.
Oh,
So
so an area code then 666.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't called a landline in so long. Do they do that in bigger cities?
Like so they have like the area code,
And then the first three numbers are
then
the
the
same.
first three numbers are something like a
They
regional
were
area
similar.
code, and then you have the
Mine was
normal.
746. So if you're in Pleasant View, it's 615-746.
Mine
If you're in
was
National City, it's 615-792.
mine was 810-232, and then my grandma, she lived right across the street. She was 810-239, and then I think somebody else was like 810-235. So it wasn't
Yeah.
exactly the
Because in
same.
East Tennessee, or at least the part of East Tennessee I grew up in, it was 423, and then the region was 725.
Yeah, so you have the first three.
Oh,
were the
shit.
same.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, so it's like you have like basically I guess like the part of the state, and then the city itself, I guess.
Big brother, man.
I don't know. They're just trying to keep us.
Well, I think it was the thing where like if there's not enough people, you don't have to have that many variations of the number, so you can just make it all the same.
Yeah.
That seems to be what it is.
I guess.
I don't know. Anyway, it was 666. And I would just call, and I would just use dial 666 and like any 4 numbers, you're going to get a number. Like that was another thing that's weird too. Was like I would just press any random 4 numbers and it would always
someone's going to answer.
It would always be a phone, like, which that seems strange. But I would call and I would just I just got off at like school at like 3, so it'd be just some like usually like redneck lady like hello, and I'd be like, hey, my name's Brian. I'm with the atheist community here in town. I want to know if you want to come to Kroger. We're having a meeting to get God completely out of schools. And people would just...
Wait, how old were you?
Oh, this one's like 14, 15.
Okay.
And people would freak the fuck out. Because it was that same thing where it's like those rednecks who actually believe that's like a thing and probably like it bothers them anyway.
Yeah.
And then I would call and I would just... I would tell a bunch you come to a meeting to get God out of schools, which doesn't even make sense. Like God was already out of schools and stuff.
I feel like you're the building blocks of getting Trump elected. Because
Maybe.
like the fake news.
They would get very, very, very mad. Like I don't even like to the point now where I think now I think you get in trouble. Like if you made someone that mad, you could get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's true, you know, because like there's even like comedy and shit. People don't even want you to don't mention God at the show at all. Like don't mention the lack of God or there being a God. Just don't do it. Everyone's so tight, so you probably would get in trouble.
Where have you heard that so much?
I don't know. I think I'm generalizing.
What do you mean like okay? Well, do you mean like if you're going up at a club, chances are you don't want to and it's just like a showcase show, like people aren't there to see you. Yeah. Like probably that crowd is not gonna like you saying there's no God.
Definitely here. Fucking go try in Jackson and see how that goes.
Jesus
sort of thing.
They're gonna get real mad at me about it.
Did you guys get to see that video before it got taken down? So I was on a show. I was on the Friday night show. I didn't get to make it on the Saturday.
Monty Mitchell?
So it was Monty Mitchell headlining. John Simmons, our favorite British person.
Oh, I've heard about this.
And Aaron Weber and me. So Simmons...
Not my favorite, but go on.
So me and Weber rode out on the Friday night. It was a small, but they kind of got into it as much as they could, crowd. I mean, there was maybe 30, 40 people. And then the next night, there was like 60 to 80. And Weber just went, you should be glad that you didn't get to make it on Saturday. And he just sent me a cell phone video. And it's this woman just screaming while John Simmons, the British guy, was on stage after he said something about, like, God maybe not being real. And he was like, he's like, I just started recording around 10 minutes into her rant.
Jesus.
And it was still about a 5-minute video talking about how she is God.
Oh, yeah.
And God speaks through her and all this stuff.
Oh, so she wasn't even like religious nuts. She might have just been nuts.
She was, yeah. And not only that, God bless that place, that club. But they don't
South
cut.
Street.
Yeah, South Street.
It's fun, man.
Yeah, but they also, if you want to go there and drink as much as you possibly can, they will not cut you off.
They don't give a shit about what anyone does.
And she was obviously fucked up,
and
too.
It's not cheap.
No.
Being out in fucking bumfuck West Tennessee, like, it's like, fuck. It's expensive. I remember someone got like a bucket of beer. It was on the show, too. Somebody had, I think it was Hinderleiter. And it was like, I think he paid like $25 or $28 or some shit like that for a bucket of beer. And it was his show, you know? And he only got one. It was like, yeah, they don't, but it's just one of those small clubs. They got to make money, you know? Again, they're not having like big crowds or anything like that.
It's in a hotel connected to a restaurant. So
it just is. It's not in a hotel. It's just connected to a restaurant.
Oh, the hotel's next door. Sorry,
yeah. But it's, you know, it's just a small club. But it's like, yeah, those people out there in Jackson, it's like, don't even talk about God. There was like a biker bar. The first like book show I got on here, there's like a joke I have. It was just kind of a throwaway line. But it was like something about God, just denying God in some way. I can't remember what the line was. But it was a good set until I said that, and then just like lost them. And it was like, oh, I thought we were having fun. And some guy came up afterwards, like, yeah, until you said that, and then they kind of were over it. But, you know, I don't know. We were talking about context and getting in trouble. What you can't say. You can't prank call people anymore. You can't talk about nothing anymore. Is that what we're talking about? How you can't say shit to anybody anytime.
I feel like you can say shit. You just have to know your audience before you say it. If everybody's on your side already, they'll probably give you enough wiggle room. Like whenever you did that, you probably just weren't seasoned enough to be able to pull yourself
it was a
back.
goddamn biker bar like Hermitage or some
What'd you
shit
say?
like that. Just something about like denying God. It was like the first book show I got on here in town. It was out in like Hermitage or something like that, and it was something. There's no God, something like that, and it was just lost everybody. Nobody got real mad.
I lost everybody in Jackson. Like God, yeah, thing. It was like I've never had anything that silent.
Yeah.
Like I would have rather someone yell at me, so I could have been like, this lady's crazy. At least I'm talking the rest of that said it was silent. I got like this like pride thing where I was like, I'm gonna do my whole time, no matter what. Harvey didn't give me a light. I went over my time. He had to take time away from the dude behind me. Like I'm talking, I melted down that set because of one fucking joke about Jesus.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever done anything remotely close to controversial, especially in Jackson. I think the most controversial thing I ever did there was I talked about foreskin a little bit because somebody was not happy about it.
Mr. Controversy.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about some dick skin. And somebody was like, no.
Was he mad because you think he had foreskin, or he was like, I don't want to hear
I
gay?
think, honestly, I don't. I think he was against
You
body.
talk about penis, my ears are gay.
Yeah, he was against body shaming too.
What if he's like, hey, everyone's beautiful, asshole?
Every cock is nice. Guys, dig into some of this pizza.
Was this for Sativa's weekend? Did this happen? I can't remember. I remember you talking about foreskin because I got a picture of you doing your little your mind.
Oh, really?
With your fingers coming together.
It might have been. I can't remember. There was a time when that was my big out of town.
I know
show.
that was. Jackson.
It was always Jackson.
Jackson's great, man. I've had fun.
Fine with
I've
Jackson,
had real great times and I've had terrible times at that place.
But
it's either real good or real bad. It's one of the two. There's no in between. There's no in between at that place, and that's what I like about it.
No gray area.
It's either this fucking place is erupting or it's, you're just eating your balls, real hard, worse than anywhere too.
It will make you it'll either let you know that you're going to be a stand-up comic for a long time, or just be like, this is just not for me, real quick on that stage.
Yeah.
Because I saw some comics I really liked that I fucking chuckle hardcore at. Fucking just eat shit out there with the stuff
Everybody
that I see
does.
that works.
I've never had a lot of fun there.
I think it's just fine. Like I said, I don't go out there and be like, fuck yeah, man, I got to keep this material or anything, but I think it's just okay. Yeah.
The last time I went there, I put my hand over the mic, take out of the stand, some guy yelled, fucking Carrot Top Jr., and everyone just laughed at me. Everyone laughed at me for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what they like.
What the second time I ever went there, a guy...
Got him in. Sweet burn.
Carrot Top Jr. fucking buried him.
Oh, yeah, there was no way out. There was no way out. Like, it was done.
Yeah, and everyone's like, dude, that guy is so good, man.
You should be a comedian.
The second time I went there, someone called me and my friend faggots in the parking lot before we even went in, like before the show started.
Once again, nailed it.
And then I had the God joke, which,
Was that the same? Was that when you got called a faggot?
No,
Okay.
that's a different time.
That was your way of standing up, going, "I'm not a faggot."
No, that was a different time. And the only time I ever had a good set there was, this guy said he was from Fort Campbell, and I was like, "Oh, you're Army," and I made some joke about how. How the gist of it was Army guys get fucked a lot. That was the gist of it, and he loved it so much that he was just sent out energy to everybody. Stood up and he was like, "I'm a veteran and I like him, so you gotta like him too."
Yeah.
and they're like, "Man, we hate this faggot, but we love the troops. We don't know what to do right now." And they chose to respect his wishes.
That's what they like,
and
man.
that's why we fought.
In those places, they like crowd work. They just want, even if it's not even good, they just want to be talked to.
They want to be a part of it.
Or talked at. Yeah.
I think that's the reason why whenever I figured out I'm decent, at least at this level at crowd work, I think that's the reason why my Jackson sets got better. I just went, here's X amount of material, very small amount of material, and here's me going, how y'all doing? What y'all want to talk about? And now we're all chewing.
I told you it's a bad idea.
Well, the pizza's good. The Reggio's pizza, it's not bad. It's a good thin crust, a light sauce. I like the cheese. Lewis, you did a good job of cooking it.
I could go for a little more sauce on it, I'll be honest, if I can take 1 point away from it.
Me and you are both sauce guys right
Yeah.
there.
If I order a pizza, I get extra sauce.
I like sauce too. But this ain't
good.
bad. It ain't bad.
Can't complain.
Not bad. Reggio's Pizza from Chicago, Illinois. Not really from Chicago, Illinois. From the freezer of your local grocery store.
Yeah,
That's where it's really
from.
from.
Yeah.
But it's based out of Chicago. Good pizza. Not expensive. Maybe you get the deep dish. You let us know how you feel.
I'll let you know how that.
Okay, Wagner's gonna let us know.
I'll go ahead and cut up.
He'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cut up the deep dish. You guys talk about Jackson.
We got the deep dish. Well, we don't have to talk about Jackson anymore. It's kind of done. I remember the last time I was there. It was there were people up in the balcony, and like I think I was doing 15, and probably like halfway through, probably like 7-8 minutes in, all of a sudden fucking beer bottles.
Oh yeah.
Just started tumbling down from the top. And people didn't know if there was a fight, and it's like, Harvey went up there, the guy who kind of runs the club, but he was like fourth in line. There were like 3 people from the audience, like just like militant dudes, probably ex-military guys or something like that. They're just like, we're on the front line, let's go see what's going on. But it was just 2 drunk guys. Like, there wasn't anything bad, but they like kicked them out. But that's the nature of that place, man. People just get fucked up out there, but they're a real good time. I think it's great.
Jackson's a dangerous city too.
Yeah.
If you look at the violence rate, it's right up there with Memphis. It's right below Memphis. And I had a friend who lived there, and he said like gun crime's really high there. Like it's actually a really dangerous town.
Oh shit.
And you can kind of feel it, I think. Like when you walk outside the club, you walk to Waffle House across the street, you walk like one of the bars. Like maybe it's because he told me, but I always kind of I almost got my ass kicked in Jackson. Like that's why I do know.
Thanks, Lou.
It wasn't even it was the one good set I had there, and I felt so good about it. I was like, after my friend came, and the aforementioned friend, and
you felt so good about it, you want to call everybody else a fag?
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is fag heavy.
But
we're just goofing. We're just teasing. What the fuck is this?
It's pizza.
Never mind. We're talking about Wagner was getting beat up.
I took a bite since I thought you were going to talk about that.
Sorry, it's just the cut job on this is just awful.
Oh, it's real bad.
It's terrible. Look at them. It's so bad.
That's a jackpot.
He took a deep dish.
Yeah, we're gonna see which one of us shit bags.
6
Get
pieces.
the giant piece in the middle, though, man.
I mean, had a good set. Your friends there.
Set. I was like, actually very appropriate. I was like, dude, we're getting a pizza and on the way back.
That's how good you felt.
I was like, this is a good set. So we went to Domino's there, and we were like, we walked in actually, and they're like, hey, the lobby's closed. We just do delivery. And I was like, well, can you deliver a pizza to the parking lot outside? And they're like, no, we can't do that. Which makes no fucking sense why they couldn't do that.
Not at all.
So I was like, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll go to a hotel. We'll just park in the parking lot. We'll tell them we're staying at the hotel. We'll get the pizza. So we do it. We're sitting there's this gas station across the street, and I walk over to get drinks. When I walk out of the gas station, there's a very attractive lady pumping gas. So I'm like, okay, when I walk, she's hidden by the pump. And I was like, well, when I go around the pump, I'm going to look at this lady. I'm going to see what she looks like. And so I get around the pump, and I go to look at the lady. I turn my head, and I make it to the car where her giant boyfriend and 2 other friends are in the car. So I snap my head back as fast as I can. Like, oh, I'm just walking with my drinks here. They instantly get out of the car with a lot of aggression. They call me a big head ass N-word. They said I look like Jimmy Neutron.
Are they black fellows?
Yeah. I didn't know if I was supposed to. At one point, I was like, I'm gonna leave it out. But
was
then
it
I
a
was
black lady, or were they with a white lady? It's Jackson. So
I don't. I never get to look at her again.
Okay.
I saw a glimpse.
Okay.
I never got the full thing, and they were like wanting to fight me. So I didn't even look. I did the thing where I was like, just don't make eye contact, just keep going. Went and sat down across the street, and yeah, they like got in the car, like went to like circle the hotel. Like me and my friend Paul, like we gotta drive away for a minute, and like had to drive away from that car. And then when they were done looking for us, like went back and got the pizza and went home.
Jesus.
But that's Jackson. Like I've never ever had someone just so readily just like, we are all gonna fight you, and one of those dudes gonna kick my ass. Which is what I thought was bullshit about it. Like, but all 3 of them are like, we want to kill somebody tonight.
Everyone's got to get their licks in.
So yeah, fuck Jackson.
There's not much going on.
No, not.
I like it. I've had good times.
I've had decent times, sure.
I feel like that's your story for everywhere, Lou.
Every place is decent.
I've had decent times.
Yeah.
It's like, well, good.
They're not good. They're not bad.
A decent life, the Josh Lewis story. It's been good. It's been bad. You know, I've been up, I've been down. I've had some fun. I've had bad times. But I'm still here.
Surviving.
You're gonna get nowhere by complaining about it. I'll tell you that much.
Amen.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Wish in one hand, shit in the other, and you'll see what you get. See which one fills up quicker.
It's fun.
It's a blast, and it's also there's not too many forums where you can talk about Jackson, Tennessee.
No, not really. But, you know, Jackson, it's in Tennessee, everybody. Okay, so you don't know, but it's there. It's great. Check it out sometime.
I will admit the last time I did the Brad Sativa show, he got arrested.
Sativa did?
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
It was Dorado Moore was there. Me and Dorado eventually had to get a hotel room because we're going to stay with Sativa's mom outside of town.
She's great.
But it felt weird just being like, well, we just watched your son get crammed into the back of a cop car. So I was like, Dorado, I'll just get us a hotel room, you know, because it's just going to be weird. The whole night they're trying to call.
Strange.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Brad's mom.
No.
Brad's not here.
Are you going to cook for us or not?
Yeah.
She made scratch-made fried chicken tenders for breakfast.
By the way, that's the reason why we want to stay there.
And it was the goddamn best thing. What'd she make? She made, I think, toast, eggs, bacon, fried chicken tenders, and, fucking mashed potatoes or some shit like that. All for breakfast.
I think Brad told me also that his nieces or something
fucked
with you all night long, wouldn't let you sleep.
Yeah. I was sleeping, and we kind of woke up, and then the kids were looking at me, and I was kind of awake, and Dorado was awake, and he goes, "That's Home Run Kelley." They didn't even ask, so then that's all they did. Dorado left because he had to leave, so then it's just for 2 hours, those kids just kept coming in going, "Hey, Home Run Kelley." And that's all they kept doing. They didn't want, "What do you want?" And they just run away.
You're a hero in there.
Until Sativa finally woke up and got on him. He's like, "Leave that man alone." But yeah, I didn't even know. But yeah, they kept fucking with me. That was terrible. But those chicken tenders made up for it. Those were they were crispy but soft and moist, and it was she cooked them in just a little pot. Had oil in a pot and just fried them maybe 2 at a time or something like that.
Oh, that's even.
They were so fucking good. Oh my God. Incredible. I'd do it all over again for that. Because we drove after the show. I'm driving Sativa, and we drove 45 minutes past his mom's house because he fell asleep.
You're the one who told me that story.
Yeah, he kept fucking falling asleep.
He did that to me recently.
Where's your address? Or what's your address?
He nods out on you.
He's
real
like,
quick.
"No, dude, we're good. We're good. I know where we're going." I kept waking him up, going, "Are we going?" He's like, "Yeah, we're good. Just keep going. Just keep going." And then I finally wake him up. And he goes, "Oh, dude, we went too far."
You guys need beer?
And I was like, "Just
Good. We're good.
Which one? Oh, you're good.
You need a beer?
sure,
Which one?
PBR, whatever you want to bring.
pick. You know what to do. You haven't been off the sauce that long, motherfucker."
Yeah, Josh Wagner's still observing. I don't know when this is going to come out, but he's still observing sober October.
He's doing his thing, man. Not drinking's fun. It's a good time.
Having a good time.
I've slowed down.
I've slowed down moderately myself. You have to, or else you feel like shit constantly. That's what I've noticed. Not that this pizza and beer isn't going to help me feel better tonight.
Well,
It actually is.
This is a special occasion.
Yeah, this is true.
there's
We've
no
only done
tequila
this.
involved, so far we're doing good.
We've only done this every other night for 2 weeks now. We have to savor these moments.
By the way, Joe, there is still tequila.
I don't want
left.
any. That's what I was just saying. There's
None?
Not right now.
Okay.
We're having a good time. I don't want
That's
this
fair.
to end like all the other ones. Go blah 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 blah. Won't play man. Won't play man.
Is that how we ended the last one?
I don't remember. Because that was because get those fucking weed cookies and too. Wagner said apparently I was clapping like a baby on the couch.
Oh, you were. You were
I-
clapping like a child.
I've
You
thought
ate so much of that weed
I've
cookie.
thought about that I keep thinking about that.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember that
Cause,
either.
Because Lewis thought.
I
Lewis
feel like
thought
you ate
we-
just as much
I
as the
didn't,
cookie.
like,
I feel like I
didn't
was
eat a
going bite for
fraction.
bite with you.
No, you weren't.
I feel like I was.
You were doing bite for bite, but your bites were like twice the size.
I'm
of
twice
what I
the
was
size of
taking.
you.
You were twice the size of a baby. Clapping your hands with your feet crossed.
What?
Like he was like doing. He was seriously going like.
Probably just having a good time.
What was going on?
Nothing.
There must have been something because I was on that couch. Was it on the couch? I don't know.
We were watching NFL video on YouTube.
I don't.
I do remember us watching like Brett Favre's Greatest Hits or something. But I don't remember. I remember that one night we blacked. I know I blacked out, and I don't even think I had that much
In
to drink.
Seattle?
Yeah, probably in Seattle too. But I'm just saying here is that's the reason why I asked you, because I'm not a big drug guy. I'm not a big weed head. That's the reason why I gave y'all my cookies, and that's the reason why I asked you the next day, because you're sober October. Just to be like, did I eat any of those? Because I can't remember anything.
Yeah, you didn't.
And I don't think that I drank that much, but I was out of it.
I remember.
So which makes me remember, which
too.
makes me think I probably did drink enough.
I remember playing Madden and it being like 9 to 12 or something like that. Just real, like none of we did not do good.
Defensive struggle.
You guys have like the most like underlying competitive shit when you play Madden. It's like it's like you're both pretending like we're just fucking around, but then you kind of get mad at the same time. It's so funny to watch.
I said me and Joe playing it by ourselves, where we just can't really talk shit because we're so into it. Where it's just like we played that one game where it was just an interception fest.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where all of a sudden I caught an interception. And I ran it all the way down to like the fucking 1 yard line, but I was out of timeouts, and I was just like, "That's fine. Who cares?"
Oh yeah, you're so mad.
I was fucking furious.
Do you remember? Do you remember Joe going, "You got me fucked up," and you were like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, that was the last time.
I don't even know what that means.
You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up, dude.
Did you win that game?
Yeah, I ended up winning.
Dude, I told Joe this the other day, to be fair. I told Joe I was rooting for you to win because I seriously thought you were going to be like, "Get the fuck out of my house." I thought you were getting
never do that. You'd have to fucking.
I was seriously worried. I was like, please beat Joe because he's going to be so mad.
No, I was having fun.
No, especially over a video game, because I know how bad I am.
So you were beating me until I started getting into it.
I think I got drunk.
And then I came back.
What does that mean?
Yeah, you're like, what does that even mean?
It was very annoying.
Who's got you fucked up?
I sent you a video of some other lady saying it, and you're like, you didn't even use it right. Something like that.
Yeah, I did
you
say,
didn't
yeah.
even know.
Yeah,
It's
wrong
like,
context.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You got me fucked up. That's how you win, man.
Still doesn't make sense. Well, you just fucking annoy me and get me drunk.
No, yeah, that's kind of what it was. That's how I win psychologically. You gotta break people down. Because I'm not better at video games than anybody.
It's like a Dennis Rodman thing.
You just gotta get in people's heads, you know? You do.
I used to beat my brother so bad at Madden that like his plan was, which was a pretty good plan for a child. He would be like, if you score again, I'm gonna break the controller.
Oh.
So he would seriously like he already had the tears in his eyes because he was just getting beaten so bad, and then I would break a run and he would be like, and like start like telling me he's like I'm gonna smash his controller in the ground, and when I scored he would just spike the fucking controller because he knew I wanted both controllers to work. So he's like, you want to win the day or do you want to be able to play tomorrow, kind of thing. It was real fucked up.
I've turned the game off on people. I've done that.
Oh, I've had people do that to me. I've never done it to anybody else, but I've had people just be like, fuck, you win. Who cares?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was because in NFL Quarterback Club 96 for Super Nintendo,
Sweet game, by the way.
It is impossible to defend the fake punt pass. It is.
Game day's the same way.
You'll get yards every time. So I was playing with my neighbor kid, and he just kept doing it on first down, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I was like, if you're just going to do this, I'm just going to turn it off because this isn't any fun. You know? If this is all you're going to do for the whole fucking game, it's like, no. So I was like, nope, we're done. He played with Barbies, though, so what do I give a fuck what he thinks?
Was he a kid that liked to play with dolls?
Yeah. You know something about that, Lou?
You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Oh. No, but everybody called my G.I. Joes growing up dolls. Play with your G.I. Joe dolls? And I was like, fucking goddamn.
Action figures you play with your
Dolls have
bathtub.
fucking machine
Stick
guns.
the hands in your pee hole.
Yeah. What?
What? No. I had the Captain Planet action figures, too.
He's our hero.
Yeah. Play with those in the bathtub. Y'all ever play with toys in the
After
bathtub? Never? You
No.
never play with anything in the
I
bathtub?
don't think so. I know at a certain point I would drink bath water.
You know what?
And that wasn't good.
I played with toys in the bathtub. Oh man. Oh god. Were you just that thirsty?
No, it was like warm, and I'd never drink warm water. Like it just felt, it was a different sensation, man. It was.
I feel like I've done that too, but I don't know why. Like,
I don't think I have.
I feel like I have.
I think I've drank shower water. I know I have as an adult.
I mean, you have to go all in, man.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta pee in your mouth just to see if you can do it. And then you go, wow, it's colder than the shower water. Who knew?
The pee's colder than your shower water?
Yeah, I get the showers hot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I was,
Real
like,
hot.
I was like, can I pee all the way?
hot showers, you piss in your mouth?
Just once. I wanted to
Did
see.
you drink it or did you spray it in
I
your mouth?
spit it out. It tasted
Oh
bad.
yeah, probably. Tastes like piss, I bet.
It tastes like the piss of a man who drinks his own piss.
Yeah.
I was just curious if I could pee that high. And I couldn't.
You nailed
It's
it.
like, ah, God damn. Who knew? It tastes so bad. But yeah. Peed in my mouth when I was a young boy.
Was this at a Planet Fitness?
Not anytime recently.
It's a rainstorm.
I was a very young boy. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Did you ever have pissing contests literally with friends growing up?
No.
We had pee. I'm trying to think. For us, it was just more about friendship and bonding. I don't think we didn't want to make a contest.
What?
out of it.
You just
We
wanted to
didn't
pee together?
want- Yeah, you don't want to,
Dude, you hold my hand.
you don't
was
have
the-
winners and losers.
What's the
in that.
contest? Like, what do you...
See how far you can piss.
Oh. Pissing contest.
Literally a pissing contest.
Got it.
A kid that I grew up with could piss over a car. It was ridiculous. It was fucking insane.
He's the mayor of the town now.
It's crazy. It's crazy how he got elected, though.
In every debate,
He just pissed straight into.
majority just walks over and pisses over on his
Wow.
What he'd do is he'd walk up behind the other person while they were doing their while they're answering the question, and he'd pee straight over, and they'd just be a dude with a cup being like, "Yeah,
So he won.
absolutely, he won." But he also had like a problem where he had to piss constantly. Like he was always like, we would go whenever we got older and we were like 15, 16 years old. We would drive to a grocery store, Walmart, something like that. And he would literally open the car door, get out, and just start pissing. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? He was like, I gotta fucking pee all the time,
While
man.
the car was moving?
No, I mean, yeah, he jumped out of the car while I was
Oh, I
driving
said
down the
get out.
street.
I thought you sorry, I forgot you said get out.
Motherfucker rolled out of there. Like,
I gotta go!
bad part, he was driving.
No time to wait.
I remember this is definitely like
Oh.
post 9/11, like shortly after 9/11.
The good old days.
Yeah. Me and my
Go on. We're just talking about pissing. This is post 9/11.
no, well, it's important to the story. It's important.
Sure.
No, it's important.
Terrorist.
We, me and my cousin.
We're putting out the fire at the Twin Towers. Can you get some more pee in here? Not every hero wears a cape.
Go on with this
What were you saying?
Yeah, go on with this story.
We were peeing together in the toilet.
That's cool.
Of Tower 7. Sorry, I'll
He's
quit.
like, no, it's fine.
Brought it
You're,
down.
you're missing out on a great story.
Oh, shit.
I feel bad for you. We're peeing in the same toilet, and he looks over at me and he goes, "Dude, we're bombing Iraq." I don't know. That's the funniest thing.
If you're peeing on like a turd, then maybe it makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, it wasn't. It was just like
We're bombing Iraq,
we're
dude.
bombing Iraq.
That would be oddly grosser, too.
That is
You just-
hilarious, though.
Hey, I just shit in the toilet. Let's pee together.
Well, maybe it was already there. Maybe it wasn't yours.
Let's solve this.
I don't know. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to figure
let's
out.
solve this thick
We're
law.
bombing Iraq. All right. Ashland City, I guess. That must be what it is.
We took 9/11 especially hard.
Dude, check it out.
I want to say
Pouring milk in a bowl. We're bombing Iraq.
it affected us the most. I think really.
I was just mad that we still had football practice. I remember that.
I remember you telling me.
9/11. That was everything got canceled except for football practice. I just remember I kept looking up in the sky, just hoping something would crash. I really do. I remember looking up, going, "There's got to be something that's going to happen." And nothing happened. I was very disappointed. Sorry, I wanted 9/11 to be bigger than it was.
It's a pretty big deal, though.
Well, not big enough for Joe.
Still did your bear crawls.
Yeah, still did my bear crawls and my monkey flips or whatever we had to do.
What position were you playing at the time?
I was a guard. I was an offensive guard.
Right or left?
Defensive tackle. I'm trying to think what year that was. What was I, freshman? That's 2001. I was a freshman, so I was right guard. The right side of the line was strong. Thanks for trying to save me out of the hole I dug myself in. I was the right side of the line.
Was it?
No, that's not a hole at all.
Was it fun being a lineman?
It was for a guard because I got to you get to pull from the line a lot.
It always seemed like the shittiest. I didn't play football, but I always thought they told me to be a lineman, I would just quit.
Oh.
It doesn't seem. It
It's
doesn't.
fun. You get to you get pancake people too, because if you get them, you're not holding. If you get them under their pads, you can, especially if you get underneath them, you can pick them up, flip them down, land on top of them and shit. And as a guard, you get to pull, and people don't expect you to pull, so you go from the right side to the left side, and there's some corner blitzing, and he doesn't know you're coming. You just fucking smash him, and then you move up the field. It's great. It's fun.
Yeah.
It
So
was
a
real
pull
fun.
is
I had a
whenever
good
you
time.
come straight off the line, you run through the backfield. Well, I was saying to people listening.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
you
it's
pull
a way to,
out, and then you
fuck people up.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
I remember even as far back as youth club football, like Pee Wee or Pop Warner or whatever the fuck it's called. I remember kids pulling up and just doing that. And, I'd come busting through there because I was about this size at the time, and I could bust through there easily. But there was a kid about, I don't know, a good 4 inches smaller than me. And me come through there oh yeah, and then this kid just fucking nails me in the chin, and just where it's enough to where it you want to cry, you really want to cry, but you're like, I'm fine, guys, not a big deal.
Isn't it weird how
Can
violent?
you take me out though? Can I sit down for? I'm just thirsty.
I'm tired.
Yeah, cramp.
How violent all the parents were with football. I remember we were 9 or 10, and they'd be like, "You get out there and hurt somebody." Your dad's telling you that.
Yeah, even the coaches do that
hurt
too.
people, hurt that child.
Yeah.
Joe, you're somewhat younger than me, so were you being told to put a helmet on people, to lower your head a lot?
No,
because I was all the time.
It was always you put the thing I remember is putting the helmet across the chest, not putting it into the chest, but you put it across, so that way you're hitting them with all shoulder. That's what our coaches would do.
Never taught that.
Yeah.
I always taught to fucking lower your head and jam your neck down into your goddamn butt.
I was told specifically not to do that.
Yeah.
I guess that's whenever shit changed. Because we were always talking about, we want to hear, I remember coaches, and like I said, we were 6th, 7th grade, I remember. I want to hear pads popping. I want to hear helmets clacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's how you
face
play
mask
football.
to face mask, not crown to crown.
Fuck no.
Crown to crown?
They never fucking told us not to.
Ooh.
We had he was a fullback. He was just a real strong kid, but he would not, he wouldn't even wait to get past the line before he put his head down. So he'd get the ball, put his head down, and then he's just spearing us. Spearing the line in the fucking spine. And it's dude, you got to look up. And he's like, do your job, man. Push him out of the way. And it's you just got the ball, and you're not even looking. He's just spearing people.
A guy that I played football would do the same thing. He would close his eyes. He told everybody that. He's like, I know I'm going to run into somebody, so I just close my eyes and fucking just start churning.
Whoa.
And everybody, they start teaching the linemen to pull apart. They're like, you got to get pulled apart, or he's literally running up your ass.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's going to hurt you.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
Sports are great.
Yeah.
Football's crazy.
It's
for kids to play, especially because their kids started. I know there was 5 and 6-year-old leagues, or maybe 7 and 8. Maybe 7 and 8 was the youngest for football where I was.
For tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played when we played flag football. Even in elementary school and middle school, they'd let us tackle. No pads and shit like that.
I did that all the time. I had no problem doing that. It's when you put a helmet on that it sucks.
Even then, we'd be lighting people up. I remember in 6th grade, I hit a dude, and he came to the school next day in crutches and shit like that. I fucking smoked him. And we had no pads, but Like, he picked on me in 3rd grade. So I fucking smoked that dude.
I was getting ready to ask the question. I was like, did you feel bad about it?
No, not at all. I felt real good. And then, because my other buddy watched wrestling, he's like, give me a hell yeah. And then I felt real cool.
I always felt bad about that. I think it was like the 8th grade.
You picked on me.
Because I didn't play through high school very much. But in 8th grade, I remember just laying out a kid that cried. And for a split second, I was like, yeah, fuck you. And then after that, I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I feel pretty bad about this.
It
didn't stop me on the next play from wanting to hit somebody else just as hard, but
I never had that with football. Like, if it was no pads, I could play people. As soon as the helmet was put on me, I was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm not going to throw my head in anybody. And I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't watch somebody, like, come. I don't know. Like, because in football, you watch it. Like I said,
you can't look anywhere else but in front of you.
Yeah.
The helmets and shit. That's the only place you can see.
And it gets closer and closer, and the whole time you're just like, all right, my head's about to ram into this guy.
Here we go.
And at some point before it happened, my brain's like, get the fuck out of there. And I would just do it every time.
Yeah. It's probably better that way. You know. But I don't know. It's part of
the running back. It's probably not.
It's
they probably want those peripherals before.
It's part of the whole thing. It's part of it being football. You're just clacking heads together.
Yeah, it's the culture.
It's supposed to be, I think, anyway. But now, it's like, I don't know. It used to be like an animal game, and now it's like a monster game. Like, people that play now are just fucking freaks of nature, you know?
Yeah, so scary.
It used to be sort of like fat, strong guys, like, running into each other and shit like that. Now everybody's fucking super athletes, fucking 300 pounds, but not an ounce of fat on them or whatever it is, and just fucking...
It makes me wonder also if that's the reason why you get to see all these superstars get injured so quickly and so like so early in the season is because they're workout warriors.
That
they
could
just
be
work
too.
out all the time.
We talked about this. I don't think that's the case.
I think it is.
I don't think, like, if you look at especially in the NFL, we'll talk about the NFL, the people they have on the payroll who, like, have gotten that shit down to a science, I don't believe that they're doing something that would make them more prone to injury. I think it makes them less prone to injury.
No, I'm saying even in the off season, these guys are just like
but
waking up early and just lifting weights and.
But it's all very regimented. Like you see, like those guys go with Instagram. It's you to see more behind the scenes stuff now, and you see even like the best running back is with a trainer now. Like it's all so planned out
during the off season.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still not wrong.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe even then it's just.
I feel like people have always gotten hurt forever in football. Like it's I don't. We're acknowledging the head stuff more now, but as far as like someone's knee going out, like that's happened forever.
A whole bunch. Yeah.
But now it's the superstar. That's the reason why I'm saying it. Just like, you know, like a guy that's a rotation coming in and stuff. You know, you could. I always seen that. There's always going to be injuries. It's a physical game. It's a tough game. But now I'm starting to see like the big names, like are always getting hurt.
I think that's always probably happened though. I mean,
maybe so. Maybe I'm just noticing it more over the past 5 years.
Yeah, we don't remember because you don't talk about like the 2 seasons they had to sit out or season they sit out. You talk about the Super Bowls they won and shit.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know for a fact, but I feel like everyone's gotten hurt the same way. Especially way back with quarterbacks back in the day. There's no way there weren't more like injuries to those guys than there are now as a whole.
Well, I mean, I would like to look up the stats of like, let's say Terry Bradshaw. He was just in there just getting slapped around constantly. That's back before there was
like body slammed on his head. There's that famous clip of him getting like pow drived in the ground. I want to just Google injury rate football.
Yeah, that's good. Because I'm trying to think of like names of anybody that I know. Like when you say like superstars, who are you thinking of? Like who comes to mind?
There was the running back for the Arizona Cardinals this year. David Johnson.
Okay.
And,
I have no idea who that is.
Well, exactly. Well, that's the reason why I'm bringing out like newer names. Adrian Peterson has been hurt throughout his entire career. Like he's back and forth. Now I wish I hadn't fucking mentioned it.
No, that's fine.
I mean, there's some other guys that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. Wide receivers a lot. Like those guys are in and out a whole bunch, and those are like the epitome of, you know, physical excellence because they're super fast, they're tall. You know, like you were saying, 0% body fat and stuff like that. And they're getting
lengthy dudes.
Yeah, they're getting the shit knocked out of them too. And sometimes they got to fucking like keep their eye on the ball while somebody else is running their fucking shoulder pad into the ribs. You know.
That's always like That'd be like the scariest thing when I thought about like being like a receiver or anything like that. Is the fact that you're
fuck
trying to catch the ball, and it's like some guy's just watching you. You know, it's
Absolutely.
like bait.
They don't give
it's
a
like
fuck
a
about
fucking
the ball.
bait pile, and there's some hunter out there just fucking ready to just eat you alive and just kill you. But that makes it for some of the best hits. You know, as soon as that ball hits their hands, and you just fucking smoke them.
Yeah, because you hit them hard enough to jar the ball loose.
That's the idea.
And these
Don't
are
let 'em
guys
catch
with
it.
like gloves that are sticky.
Yeah.
You know?
Those sticky ass gloves. I remember that. What'd you find,
I
Wagner?
can't find anything that's like just tell me if they get hurt more now or then.
No stats or anything.
Yeah.
What's the? Yeah, I can't think of like.
Do football players get hurt more now?
I'm trying. That's probably a good thing to.
Dear Mr. Google.
It'd probably be yes, just because everyone's more concerned about it. You know. Back then, it didn't fucking matter.
That was the thing too, where people
step on people's hands and no one gave a shit.
They definitely had more of those like shots they could put in your knee and make you go back then.
Yeah, that too. And if your finger, you get a broken finger, tape it to the other one that works.
And nothing is like, will just straight up tell me it's all.
Dick butt kiss. My dad used to like dick butt
Dick
kiss.
butt
He was
kiss?
like he'd bite people's fingers,
My
shit like that.
My dad was like that. He's like one of those. Like I remember Bill Romanowski. Like
Yeah.
Dirty. He's
Yeah.
like, I like it. It's like it's dumb.
It's shitty.
It's dumb just to be that mean.
Not if you're playing football.
Okay.
In the 70s.
There's a part of me that kind of feels that way. I guess.
Yeah,
Like
I
he
mean that's
just-
part of it. That's part of the game.
Yeah, like we were talking about, like Albert Hainsworth stepping on that dude's neck,
Yeah.
and like part of
He
he's
stepped
like,
on his face.
sorry, Mr. Hainsworth, but part of me is like, oh, that's fucked up. But part of me is like, what do you expect? You guys have been hitting each other for 50 minutes now. Like at a certain point,
Yeah.
what are you guys gonna get murdered?
He's a little bit upset. You've been hitting him a bunch. He's losing.
Yeah.
You know? And you've been in his face all night. Or all day.
Defensive, offensive linemen are literally inches away from each other, talking straight shit to each other, and then just flying into each other. One's pushing, the other one's pulling, and it just, eventually something bad's gonna happen. There's gonna be hands to the throat. So I watched beloved UT Volunteers get murdered by the Alabama Crimson Tide, which is a disgusting thing to say, and. There was one defensive lineman, defensive end. I wish I could remember his name right now, but he got called I think 3 times for hands to the throat. So he would come around the tackle, I think the right or left tackle, and he would just fucking straight up strangle him, just to be like, I'm going to get around here somehow. I'm going to fucking do it. And they just were just like, you can't do that. And he's like, okay, I'll try this next time. I'm going one more time. I'm going to straight just choking on this
What else
dude.
am I supposed to do?
He's like, well, if nothing else, I'm going to intimidate him. No, he was borderline getting ready to get thrown out of the game. And that's what football breeds. You just have these big, mean dudes
monsters.
talking shit.
Because that's the thing is like in order to play it even on that level of college, you got to be fucking nuts. You got to be
little bit,
insane human being.
Especially in college, because you're going for broke. You know, you're trying to get paid afterwards, and ideally, you like playing football. So it's like, what's the next step? Next step is the NFL. You know, so you're going all out. But I don't know anything. Boys will be boys. You know, they're gonna be. Sometimes you got to strangle.
Yeah, that's true. Rough housing, man.
Yeah, just good old. You know, locker
Good
room
old
fun.
hand strangling. Good old neck grabbing.
I don't know. It seems insane, but that's just, you know, that's what people do, especially in football. I'm not for the safety of football players. I will say that.
Not at all.
I don't think they are either, to be honest.
How am I supposed to get my YouTube compilations if y'all are being safe?
That's true.
What am I supposed to watch? I don't have a fantasy fucking team. I want to see you get hurt. Put it on.
That's your fantasy?
That's all I want to see. Back to back to back to back to back. Just people getting fucking lit up. Or funny fumbles.
Funny fumbles are pretty good.
I want to see a dude get his neck broken or like a squirrel run across the field or
That'd
something.
be hilarious.
Yeah. I want to hear Benny Hill music the entire time.
Get the mascot out there and then punching each other. That's always a good time, too. I saw Shawn Michaels give Sweet Chin music to some mascot. I think it was at a Spurs game or something
To
like
a
that.
mascot?
Yeah. It was like the mascot beat up the other mascot, and then they played Shawn Michaels' theme, so then he stood up.
Like from the stands? Like he wasn't even
I
in
think
on
it was all part of it,
Oh,
but then he
okay.
went out to like half court and then Sweet Chin music, this other mascot. It was real great.
By the way,
It's insane to me that wrestling does stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Do they still do that as much?
That was, I think that was recent that happened.
Really?
Like
yeah, I think this was like within the past couple weeks.
It's a crazy thing where it's like, like the wrestler is going to be at this other thing, and you're still playing the wrestler. And
well,
stuff.
I think Shawn Michaels is he might be from San Antonio, sort of thing like that. Like his hometown sort of thing or some shit. So it's like, but yeah, you got to commit to your character.
Or I guess it's more, I'm thinking the opposite. I guess it's when like wrestling brings in real people.
Yeah,
as part of the show. That's so strange to me. Like it's the weirdest thing.
It's
like Mike Tyson's gonna get you.
Oh, that was a good one.
And fans are really like, holy shit, who's tougher, Stone Cold or Mike Tyson?
Yeah, that was real.
It's like I'm gonna guess Mike Tyson. Like
no way. Against the rattlesnake? Come on, dude, for real. We could have this talk.
About what? What are we talking
Mike
about?
Mike Tyson being tougher than the rattlesnake.
Most vicious biker boxer. Ugh.
He's the rattlesnake.
At one point.
Yeah, sure.
He was wild. No, but that's the thing. But that's what I think's cool about it. Is like part of you really is like, I don't know. This Stone Cold
pretty
guy,
sure Stone Cold
this Stone
would
Cold,
stomp a mud hole in his
Stone Cold
ass.
guy's pretty wild
and walk it dry.
And that's the bottom line.
I loved it. Did you see they had LeVar Ball?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who
Jesus.
is that and what does he do?
He's the father of one very successful college player that is now playing for the LA Lakers. Number 1 overall draft pick, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. And he also has a couple other sons that are successful basketball players that are coming up through college and high school and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he is just a PR guy. He's just a crazy person.
Yeah.
He leads you to believe that he's a crazy person. But everything he does seems very calculated. Like, look at me.
And it's working. Too.
And
it does.
Oh,
it's
doing great.
It's very much working. So his son that just got drafted by the Lakers is soft-spoken, a teammate guy, like a guy that doesn't want to be a superstar. Not that he doesn't want to be a superstar. I think he is who he is.
Yeah.
And he's just a good basketball player. And now, because of his father running his fucking mouth the entire time, there was a lot of pressure on him. And I think I watched the highlights of his first or second game.
The first game.
Is it the first game?
Yeah.
And you could tell he was just like, oh shit. Like he just didn't do.
He has a price on his head right
absolutely.
now.
There's a lot of people.
All because his dad. Like if it wasn't that, it'd be the opposite almost. Like,
absolutely. There's a lot of people out there that just want to fucking cram a ball in his fucking face and just be like, welcome to the NBA, pal. Your dad can't save you now. And he did the wrestling thing, 2 or 3 months ago?
That's what I want. I was going to pull it up on my phone and play it because I don't know if y'all have heard it.
Yeah,
I heard a little bit.
Okay.
It's nuts. We can still
No,
play
you can
It's
still pull it up.
hilarious because it's his son that gets all lippy too.
Yeah, well,
Drops
because
the N-bomb on Monday Night Raw.
That's the middle one, yeah.
Yeah.
the younger one, yeah.
I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. But
The other one that just sits there and smiles, that looks a little bit older, yeah, that's the one that's an NBA guy.
It isn't always weird when a really good athlete is not good looking. Is it like something in your brain's like this doesn't make sense?
It's here we go. Go ahead.
We can play it. So it's LeVar Ball and his 2 sons on Monday Night Raw, and this I don't even know what's gonna happen.
Play it kind of in the middle.
I can't believe Miz was able to land this.
It's only a minute long.
Yes.
The Miz sucks.
Well, I'll tell you, LaMelo Ball, as a sophomore, he scored 92 points in a
LaMelo.
high school game for Cheeto Hills. Big right here. Big interview.
What do you think the point as far as wrestling's concerned is with this? Like,
Just a platform.
so like someone who likes NBA may be like, will see that and be like, oh yeah, I forgot I want to watch wrestling.
It might not even like.
Oh, put your clothes back on, fuck man. You ain't doing it, man. Oh, no. Wait, is Ambrose the voice of reason? I can't believe I'm saying that phrase. Well, he is the lunatic phrase. Beat that nigga ass. Beat that nigga ass.
What did he say?
He said, "Beat that N-word's ass."
Oh,
That was his son. One of his sons said that.
Well, because it was a thing where I remember seeing that and being like, I thought that he was allowed to say that. Like, I didn't see what the big deal was.
Well, it's WWE's PG.
Well, no, but people like, okay, so in sports shows, people were talking about it as it being like a bigger thing, like, and no one just said like, hold on, I think that's okay. Like, I think we agreed that black people are allowed to say that.
Oh, I guess
Like, there were people who were seriously talking about it being like a big a big thing. Like, not as far as the FCC was concerned or like that. Just being like, can you believe this kid said that on TV? And it's like, have you heard rap music? Like it's allowed.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was accepted. It was okay.
I just figured it was not okay because it's like a PG.
Yeah, I didn't hear anyone talk about it on that level.
And the Miz is a white guy.
It was seriously about the kid and like kind of questioning his character.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that at all. I went more along the line of the fact that it's not okay just because it's WWE is about being PG. You know, it's about being okay for like.
When did that
It's
turn?
a family show. That probably happened. Sort of recently, probably within the past. I'd imagine 3-4 years. I don't know exactly when. I could probably look it up. I think something happened. It was when they went to being a public company. When WWE went to being traded on the stock market. I think that's what did it.
That's whenever they toned it down
to PG. Yeah. And I don't know. I think the fact with the internet too, where it just became, even people that watched, they knew it was fake or whatever, but there wasn't so much behind the scenes shit. So I think it's the fact that maybe it's just kids don't have as much access to the internet or something like that. Maybe it's just easier to get kids to play along with the bullshit that they're doing rather than adults because the internet sort of thing. Maybe that's the appeal to kids. But I think it had something to do with them becoming a public company, being traded publicly. Because they were a private company for a long time, but then they went public at some point in time.
I wonder if there was because I'll say that I wasn't allowed to watch it during the Attitude Era and all that. Which is when I wanted to.
It was filthy and
I was
vile,
gonna say,
man.
for probably
It was
good
great.
reason.
It was so much fun, but it was fucked up.
Because I remember my parents being like, "Oh, you like wrestling?" Thinking like Ric Flair, like my dad would be like, "Yeah, I love wrestling, Ric Flair and all those guys." And then he saw it, and it would be like very raunchy, like you can't watch this anymore. And
Stone Cold and middle fingers and telling people to suck it and suck your dick and like ladies in their fucking underwear all the time.
316, every church person I knew was real mad about that.
Yeah, I bet they were. It was a great promo though.
Oh yeah,
thump your Bible talking about John 3:16. Austin, it's so good. It's such a great promo. But
I remember I used to watch. Was it called the Monday Night Wars between
WCW
Nitro and Raw?
WWF. Yeah.
And I just happened to get to the age to where I knew it was silly, and I wasn't watching it ironically. I still liked it, but I could still make fun of it at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I watched the WCW, and that was my favorite. I guess just being Southern.
I liked it more too.
I like WCW too. I was a WCW guy for sure.
The whole Wolfpack thing was the coolest.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with it.
Well, absolutely. That's what made it the most fun. And then all of a sudden, it bled into WWF to where, or WWE, whatever the fuck it's called now, to where they're like, well, we got to up the ante if they're just going to do that. So I remember one of the first times Stone Cold came out, he was with Bob Backlund, and they were calling a match or whatever. And Bob Backlund was doing this fake bullshit where he was running for president. That was the storyline. Bob Backlund, they had him a bus, and he was going around being like, I'm going to be the president, and all this shit. And Stone Cold, never heard of him before, had to remember who he was from like WCW whenever he was a part of the Hollywood Blondes, whenever he had like real long, pretty blonde hair.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. It was almost falling out.
Very thin.
Yeah, extremely
We're
thin.
gonna have to get Caddy, Lewis.
No, sorry. Maybe I'm just relating. And so he sat down. He was sitting down, and he was talking shit about Bob Backlund, and he was like something to the effect. It was like, why don't they paint me a bus up so I can go around whooping people's ass? And I remember I was on the phone with my buddy Aaron whenever we were kids, like we were like preteens, teenagers, whatever, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious. And then that fucking character just blew up after that, where it's just enough people are like, yeah, we do want somebody to paint up a bus and go around whooping people's ass.
Whooping people's ass.
Open cans of whoop ass.
You beat up your boss, and then you put your hand in the air, and somebody throws you a beer.
And then
like, what the fuck else do you need in life?
And then you spill it down your chest.
Yeah. And then he throws you more. And you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it. You get two in your hands, you clank them together, you spill half of them, then you pour the other half down your chest.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah, it really was like people. I think adults live through him as much as kids.
Fuck
do.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, more so. I'll say more so.
Probably, yeah.
He's calling everybody a jackass. He's flipping everybody off that even slightly makes him mad or just inconveniences him. He just beats the shit out of them because they got in his way.
He's everything every construction worker has ever wanted
Yeah,
to be.
Absolutely.
auto worker, anybody
Every
blue collar
redneck's
is like,
fantasy.
yeah, I want to walk in the office and go, fuck you, stunner, give me a beer. And that's it.
Yeah.
I still want that.
Well, who doesn't?
It's beautiful. But that was it.
But I think that's I stopped watching it. Do you think they hit enough of like not selling toys? Like, do you think enough parents felt that way that it was actually hurting money? Because like merchandise has got to be a huge part of their.
Oh yeah,
profit,
it definitely is, and I think that's.
And mostly kids probably want the toys.
Yeah, definitely. So that's probably it's just part of where the market is going, I guess, or some way. It's just kind of it's it's more PC. You can't people you can't say anything to anybody anymore nowadays. So it's like, how are you gonna sell a shirt that says Austin 316 on the back? It says whooping ass every day or whatever it is.
Well, they still
Or
had
even
characters.
DX Suck It shirt.
The Suck It. I was a huge DX fan.
And they put the little asterisk
Yeah.
for the U, but it was
Yeah.
you can't. How could you possibly have that and not be called like a misogynist or anything nowadays?
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Well, not only that, they were all characters back then. I don't believe that there's... Okay, so I don't keep up with professional wrestling like I did, whenever I was a teenager. But I got to go see Monday Night Raw maybe a couple months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
First of all, a blast, but everybody, like, the characters weren't there anymore.
No.
I think that's one of the
What
things
is
that
it
hurt
now?
me.
What's the difference you're saying?
Well, everybody is just themselves.
Sort of
Oh,
like
okay.
a version of themselves.
There was
in some way.
there was one storyline, and I wish I could remember the guy's name, but back in the day, he was a Olympic gold medalist for real.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, thank you. And
He just came back. He just wrestled his
Yeah.
first match for WWE on Sunday.
Okay, so he had a storyline at the time where he's like, there's something big going to happen. I don't know what it is, but we're going to have to announce it tonight.
Yeah, he's the general manager.
Yeah, so it
Of
comes
Raw.
to find out he has a son.
Yeah, Jason
And
Jordan.
Yeah, so the son
But it's
comes
not
out.
really a son.
It's not really a son.
No,
but I mean,
the kid's half black, and Kurt Angle is white and was married to a white woman for years
Yeah.
until she jumped ship for fucking Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett?
Kurt Angle's
The
wife.
lariat, Jeff Jarrett?
Kurt
is
Angle's
this
wife.
real
Yeah.
life or wrestling
Kurt
life?
Angle's legit wife left him for Jeff Jarrett in real life.
Who's another wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He used to rip off Ric Flair's strut and hit people in the head with a guitar. Stuff like that. Long blonde hair.
There was a guy got hit in the head with a guitar
That's
there, and it wasn't one of the fake guitars. It was a real one, and it busted his fucking head open. Where they had to bring out the real EMT.
They had
Oh,
blood.
wow.
Yeah,
They can't do that. They
They
get in trouble.
fucked him
You get
up.
fined.
they had him fucked up.
That dude's what is his name? It's a biblical name. The dude who played
I can't
guitar.
remember it,
his
yeah.
name.
But he came out and he was like playing a song, and everybody was
He
just like,
sucks. I don't like that character at all.
"Oh yeah." Well, I'm just
Didn't,
saying that, but there wasn't
didn't,
very
didn't
many.
Chris Jericho play guitars?
Chris
At some
Jericho
point?
has a real band called Fozzy.
Yeah, but didn't he do it in the wrestling?
No,
He didn't?
no.
Oh,
He,
he didn't.
he never did.
But there was
The
there-
Honky Tonk Man did. Jeff Jarrett did.
yeah.
And then, this new guy,
But yeah,
Samson.
there
I
wasn't.
think that's his name.
That was the closest thing there was to
Terrible.
a character whenever I watched it. Like
Yeah.
everybody else was just a regular dude that had a catchphrase, basically. Kind of like the one guy that says yes, yes, yes.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Still don't understand that. Why it's so popular? I mean, I understand.
People
him.
just liked him as a person because he's like a smaller guy. Like he was a good wrestler. He can't wrestle anymore. He had like a neck injury or some shit like that. But he was
saw
like a
him
big
do
guy
his-
in the indies.
Do his speech. I watched the speech where he quit,
Yeah,
and it was really sad. It made
yeah,
me
yeah.
sad.
Because people loved him just because he's
Yeah.
he's just a likable
Underdog,
guy.
yeah.
Sort of thing.
There's also, I think, anytime, every single like athlete retiring speech makes me tear up a little bit. Like I can't watch. I don't know why. Like that's one thing that gets me.
Never
every
watched
time.
that movie, The Pride of the Yankees, Manuel.
What's that about?
It's about Lou
Oh, is it
Gehrig.
the Lou Gehrig thing?
Yeah. This
That one's
this has been then
The quality is so
greatest day of
shitty
my
on that
life.
one. It doesn't get me as much. But like when you see like something about like seeing it because like when you're an athlete and you have to retire, that's because you like your body's dying. Like it's such a real thing where your knees are like, hey buddy, we just don't work anymore.
Yeah.
And those dudes, I think bigger than when you like retire from your job at the bank. I think like you have to actively acknowledge like, holy shit, I'm dying. That's why I can't play football anymore. Because I'm gonna die sooner.
Well, it's very
That could be,
relatable.
yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
relatable because no matter if you're a professional athlete or just a dude that works at the tire shop, eventually one day you're going to reach over to pick up something and you're like, oh, Jesus,
Yeah,
I can't do that anymore. that makes no sense. But you can't retire from the fucking
you,
tire shop and everybody be like cry whenever you do it.
Well, because you can still kind of do it. It becomes a point where like you have someone who was, especially when like they're great, which those are most of the ones you see, and a guy who was like, I was the best. My body was the best, and now I can't even do this anymore. Like
Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson is a perfect example of that. Like he gets his hip broke. Like he fucks up his hip pretty bad. And now he can't do anything, so he's a hunter. Like he goes out bow hunting all the time, and he like donates every bit of the meat that he has to like charity and stuff around where he lives in Alabama to Arby's. That old lady told me there were going to be deer meat there.
I saw a commercial for it the other day.
Is there really going to be that?
Yeah.
I thought she was just
venison.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I saw the commercial.
Yeah. She didn't say venison when she told me. She said it very southern.
Deer meat?
They gonna be deer meat up in here.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it was.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't. How could you?
That's unheard of.
I was thinking about it.
Like USDA. I mean,
there's got to be a farm somewhere.
A deer farm?
Yeah.
God, we went too far.
I mean, like maybe it's been like obviously not as big of an industry, but for people who like weird foods or exotic foods, it's probably been around for a while. Maybe Arby's was just like, because they're only doing it for like, even some of the commercial, like while supplies last. Like it was never.
So they only killed like 2 or 3 deer.
Yes.
They shot their limit and they had to.
Just picking them up off the highway.
I wonder how much. I wonder how much it'd be people who never had it or people who have had it and want to see what it's like. Like.
I'm not gonna lie. I will try it from Arby's just to see because I haven't had that in a long time.
That's what I want to do. I want to see what it tastes like from Arby's.
But it's weird. Is it going to taste gamey at Arby's?
I don't know. See, like, the deer meat we ate didn't taste gamey because my dad would pay money to have it hang longer. And if you hang it longer, then it takes the game out.
It's crazy that y'all catch deers by hanging them.
Well, we pay a guy to do it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I remember going to my friend's house one time, and the first time I ever had, like, not our deer meat and tasting his, and it had that gamey flavor. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And I think most people eat it with the gamey flavor.
Yeah, I don't like fresh fish because of that. Like straight out of a lake or a stream. Just the wild taste. I mean, I'll eat it. I don't get mad about it.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Good,
it's fine, but it's just not my favorite. Like, I don't look forward to it.
Yeah, it tastes a little stinky.
Yeah.
In a weird way. I like it. It's good, man. I've had it before. You go catch some fish, and you fucking fry them up and throw them in a deep fryer. It's real fucking good.
Oh, deep fried, that's different. I was talking about like bacon.
It still tastes fucking. There's some stink to it for sure, but it's still good.
Yeah. Now, if you deep fry anything, do you bread them a little bit? Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That kind of takes out some of the gamey taste, the wild taste.
Fish is fried.
Oh, it's
Like,
so
it's so much better than
yeah.
other
What
kind
else
of
are you
fish.
gonna do it?
One of the most healthy meats you can find. And you're like, how can we fuck this up?
Yeah.
Fry it.
There was the catfish house in Springfield because you know like fish has
Catfish
like
house.
Yeah, well it's great. Fish has like the omega-3s whatever, which is like good for your brain, and like that was on their sign. It was like, eat our fish, it's brain food. Like, and it was all just fucking fried catfish. There's no way.
And that's only like salmon and stuff too.
Yeah, like these farm-raised catfish that you fried for 5 minutes. I don't think there's a lot of fatty acids getting my brain.
But it's delicious.
Oh, it's so good.
Little tartar sauce. Oh, I love it. That's how meat should taste, though. It should taste gamey. If not, what the fuck else are you doing?
That's true.
You know.
I like deer meat better when it's not like from having had both. I like it. Yeah. Because it still has a different thing going on, but it's not like that bite, that sharp thing that hits you in the mouth. It's good, but I like it when it's closer to like a beef.
You know, I don't know. I've never had any contrast of venison, which I didn't even know was a word until I was probably in my 20s.
Yeah. What are they gonna do? Like, what was the commercial for?
Let me look it up.
Are they gonna slice it up like a sandwich?
It showed the sandwich. It looked like it was kind of like.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was sliced.
I mean, it's not
pieces.
Whole pieces.
Yeah. I'm gonna
that was going back up to Michigan. They were like commercials for like, you know, hunters get out there because the deer population's too high. So make sure we kill a bunch this year. Because they're out of control.
Well, it is a problem on the roads and stuff, I would imagine.
I don't know, man. I haven't seen, I've been driving around a bunch. I haven't seen that many deer on the road. I've seen some live ones, but I haven't seen that many dead ones. But
go back towards East Tennessee. You start seeing
there's
dead.
some even around here.
I think we might have already missed it.
There was one right down the street here from my apartment.
The venison at Arby's?
This is, there's people who...
God damn it!
Guys, anybody listening out there, if you could mail me some Arby's.
Put it on
venison.
eBay. Send us an eBay link. We'll order
Szechuan
sauce.
Okay, so it's
Fucking-
it's farm raised New Zealand deer.
Oh, it's
So it is
Foreign deer.
apparently in New Zealand they do commercial venison.
They're probably smaller. Probably like axis deer.
Sold out in under an hour in Minnesota and Georgia. People were going nuts over it.
Those are the only 2 places.
We're going to factory farm deer now. I mean, whatever. I mean, we're torturing every other animal.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's apparently missed it.
Shit.
This guy said it was not good. Said it smelled like day old meatloaf. Which
How's that not smell good?
Which like makes me think it probably was a gaming. Probably had different.
Yeah. If somebody that's never had it, then it's going to taste weird.
Because honestly, like the stuff we had, if you put it in spaghetti or chili, you would never know it wasn't beef.
Oh, yeah. Tenderloin and stuff, because I remember we'd eat breakfast tenderloin all the time if somebody gave us like a good tenderloin.
Breakfast tenderloin.
Yeah.
On a
Well,
biscuit, just put it on a biscuit.
yeah, biscuit. Yeah, I guess I could have made that a little bit more clear.
Yeah, I didn't, yeah.
So breakfast tenderloin.
Breakfast tenderloin.
So breakfast
Just eat in the
tenderloin
morning.
is tenderloin you eat during breakfast times, and the rest of tenderloin you eat during like dinner and or lunch.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
We didn't buy red meat growing up. It was all any kind of besides bacon. It was pork. If you can that red meat.
Is that red meat?
I don't know. I know some pork isn't.
Yeah, pork is the other white meat.
Yeah, it's good for you. Turns out after all. But yeah, any hamburgers like steak, spaghetti, chili. That was all venison. I didn't know anything different than that for like a pretty good chunk of my life.
Huh.
And it made stuff a lot better. Like if you make a chili or spaghetti with ground venison, it's not greasy. Like that's another thing I remember. Like go to my friend's house, have spaghetti, and we leave like that film in your mouth.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that existed until I was like 8, 9 years old. I remember being like, "What the fuck is going like? Why is there fuzzy stuff on my teeth right now?"
It's on venison.
It's good. I think I'm gonna get pressured into going deer hunting again this winter with my dad. He keeps bringing it up.
You should go for it. Why not?
The family that slays together.
The last time I shot a deer, I did not feel great about it.
I didn't
say that.
either.
I didn't care earlier.
Did you ever? Because
one
I've never
time I
killed a
did.
deer.
I've killed a fair amount of deer. Yeah.
Jesus.
It didn't bother me for a while, but the last one I did, I was like, this is kind of fucked up. I don't know why I felt that way.
I don't know. I couldn't like. I mean, I can understand why it's done. Like I never hate on anybody for doing it. Just
If you
I
eat
don't know.
meat, it's the most humane way to get it.
Absolutely.
Like, there's no more humane way.
There was
if you're gonna do it.
There was a part of me whenever I was like I have a recurve bow. I have a couple of them, and whenever I was shooting them on a regular basis, I was going to go turkey hunting for like a weekend
Yeah.
and kill a couple of turkeys because
With your bow?
yeah,
That shit's so hard.
oh, it'd be extremely hard.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it would just be me wandering around in the woods, basically. But I was the reason why I was wanting to go like during turkey season in East Tennessee is just because that's one of the few animals that I could look at and be like, what if I killed that? I think I'm fine with it. Because they just don't seem very nice. Like at least a deer, I could look at that and be like, well, it looks like a pony.
Yeah, it is like fluffy.
Yeah.
They're nice.
I know they
They're
smell
soft.
terrible.
Yeah.
There's a deer park in Marquette, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula, and it was like they had a bunch of deer, and they had them like in this fence, so you could like drive through the park and look at them. But at some point in time, they took down the fence, so you could just drive through and these deer. But they were so used to like people being around that you could go through like a bag of carrots and just feed.
Oh, wow.
Deer would come up and feed carrots, and you could pet them and shit like that.
There's a guy on the internet
It's
that
pretty
recently
fun.
you get kind of internet famous for a
I
while.
saw that.
He was feeding wild deer with
Yeah,
donuts.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they-
they're
and
very
they
easy
feed
to
it.
tame.
Well, if you look over here in East Nashville, they aren't scared of humans at all over here.
No. There was a, on the road I live on, for the listeners, there is there's a park right next to it, and that's where majority of the wildlife and deer live. For you guys that can't see this, Joe is trying so hard to fart. He's trying so hard to fart right now. Yeah, he couldn't do it at all. But anyway, there was a buck. There's like a couple of buck that lead the doe and the fawn across the road, and they'll literally stand in the road and let like the female deer come across. And there was one time that he wasn't doing that at all. He was just like out in the road. I pulled up. I literally stopped at night with my headlights on. He wasn't blinded by the lights or anything like that. And he just he was looking around. You could tell he heard a car. He's like, looking the opposite way, and then he just saw me and was like, "Whoa, hell!" And he just like kind of bounced off, and like the female deer just stood down there, like obviously chastising him.
Yeah, all they do is fuck cars up. Like that's the
Pretty much.
That's like that's the majority of what deer do is
that's how they get us back.
hurt people in their vehicles, which is why they have, and like you said, they have campaigns to be like, please kill
as many as you can, please. We're in
Murder
trouble.
these fuckers.
Yeah.
My buddy went to like Lake Superior University, some shit like that. He went to college in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I went to visit him one winter for like Christmas break, and we went to like a bar, and he's driving back, and we're like drunk, and the roads are icy as shit, and there's a deer, and it's probably like 120 yards away, and he has shitty vision, and like we just keep getting closer and closer, and finally I'm like, Jared, there's a deer, and he swerves, and the deer doesn't move, and it's like icy, and I was like, well, I'm gonna die, and this is just gonna be what it is. Like I didn't freak out. I was just like, I'm ready to die.
It's odd.
I guess this is how it's gonna be.
Can I say it's oddly comforting whenever you just accept it?
Yeah, it was like, what else was I gonna do? And we fucking skidded around that deer and just kept going. And I was like, well, cool, I guess. But it was like, that deer didn't move. It was fucking just standing in the road, just looking around. But that's what they do on an icy road. He was drunk as shit. But he was in the back, passed
Left
out.
that part out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I said we were at a bar.
Oh.
In the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the wintertime. What else are you going to do? That was the first time I learned that if you put your finger on a cherry of a cigarette, it will stick to your finger. Because I didn't smoke at that point in time. And
You tried the thing where you lick your fingers?
No. Yeah. My buddies were smoking. I was like, well, I'll just put that cherry out. And then just fucking burnt my finger. I didn't know that was a thing until then. Had a lot of learning experience that summer. Also learned that Jared doesn't like you to cook bratwurst if he's not hungry.
What?
I don't know. Other buddy and I were like,
That's a very specific lesson.
we started up the grill and we were cooking some bratwurst. And we were like, well, how long does it take to cook? And Jared was a little bit drunk. He goes, well, I wasn't even hungry. And it was like, all right, I guess we're not cooking now.
Yeah, I guess we won't eat.
Yeah.
Were they his bratwurst?
No.
That's weird.
He's, I don't know.
He sounds okay.
He's a great guy. I love him to death. I just saw him back when I was home. It was good. We had a good time. He threw the Wii controller.
So, okay, we're sensing a pattern of Jared here.
Yeah.
Some things don't change. I think he's 31, but he had like heart surgery like 3 years ago. Like,
God, he's got to calm down.
Had to have like open heart surgery. Yeah. Like smoking and all that shit.
Yeah.
At 31?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
God.
real.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking it's going to be later.
Had like a major surgery. Still smokes.
No.
Still smokes fucking Reds. Marlboro Reds.
Ugh.
I've told you about
Right?
that.
I want to smoke a cigarette right now.
That's what happened to me. When I heard about it, my sister told me about it, and I was like, I need a cigarette to hear about this.
Well, it's also a trigger
It
word.
fucking stressed me out.
It's also like a trigger. Whenever I was
'Cause it's
trying to
about
quit
me.
smoking, that's exactly what happened. Somebody be like, man, it must be hard quitting cigarettes, and you just hear cigarette, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, you see it. You see someone
know,
smoking
look at all
in a
these.
movie or anything.
There's so it's really terrible.
There's a couple right here that somebody left in my lawn chair that
I saw those
moved
outside
inside.
before. I saw those outside when we were walking up. I
Yeah.
didn't
They
just
are what?
Those are Marlboros.
No, they're not.
Camels?
Fortuna?
Never
Oh, they're
mind.
cheap ass
Never
cigarettes.
heard of that.
You gonna smoke one, Lou? Don't
Absolutely
do it.
not.
Okay,
Dude,
good.
Weber bought these cigarettes called, I think they were called like Traffic or something. I forget, but it was like some shitty name. We went to this gas station. We were going somewhere, and they were advertising. It was like they were like
I hope
right
that
around.
picked up. I hope it picked up the part where Joe farted into a microphone.
It may have. These cigarettes were like $2 a pack. Like now, it was so cheap.
Yeah, that's not even tobacco.
And he got them, and he's like, "Think they'll be good?" And I was like, "No, dude, these are not gonna be good." And he smoked. I was like, "Well, let me try one." I took like one puff, and I was like, "Fuck this!" And he smoked a whole one, and then he didn't say anything. And like 30 minutes later, he's like, "Dude, I do not feel good." Like it made him sick
Yeah.
for the rest of the evening. They were such shitty cigarettes.
They used to have this kind a bazillion years ago called Gunsmoke. I swear to God, they were called Gunsmoke. And you could get them for something like 89 cents a pack. It was crazy how cheap they were.
What were cigarettes costing back then, in fact?
Whenever I first started smoking back in the, I guess the early 90s, or like mid 90s, You could get Marlboro used to make a pack called 25s. So an average cigarette pack is 20 cigarettes. You could get the 25s, and they costed $2.50.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
95-ish.
So in 12 years, cigarettes have over tripled in price.
Way longer than 12 years. I want to say 20.
If
Oh,
you
shit.
drive around,
God damn it. Oh, man, that was bad.
you can find like these small fucking towns that have like packs of cigarettes for like $3.
We're
Yeah.
just talking about
Just
Weber bought it, but they're dog shit.
yeah, they're terrible.
Like
they're
yeah.
terrible.
You can't do it.
Terrible. Oh, wouldn't even want to. Not even worth saving the money.
I think the first cigarette I ever smoked was actually I know for certain it was a Doral Light. I don't even know.
Doral?
Yeah, Doral.
The first thing I smoked was lawn clippings. Not even kidding.
Go on.
It's-
What'd you roll them into?
I think it was a newspaper.
How old were you?
7 or 8. Tried to smoke one of those.
Did you inhale it?
Yeah.
Did it choke you to fucking
Oh,
death?
I felt terrible. And then it was like,
I imagine smoking a newspaper even by itself would be
it was not good. I was across the street, neighbor's house. Their grandparents were gone. It's like, hey, my dad left these Miller Lights, and we're gonna smoke. I was like, yeah, sure. I guess I'll do it.
But
So
were
I'm
you
like,
going to drink the beer and smoke, or he was like,
well,
beer?
I was gagging from the cigarette, and I was like,
So
I
they
need a
gave you a
drink,
drink
and
of
it was
beer.
like, drink this, and it was like, oh.
What guy was he? Also your age?
He was 2 years older. The dude was my sister's age.
So you were like 8. He was
Probably
around
10.
10.
Yeah, we
Okay.
were smoking.
Just making sure it wasn't like a 16-year-old kid. It was like, give this
Smoking.
kid some fucking
No.
long clippings.
Long clippings in a newspaper and a fucking warm Miller Lite.
did you drink the whole beer?
No, I took a drink after. I was like, I'm done. I'm going home.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I just went home. The first cigarette I smoked, I think, was like a Basic.
Oh
They're
yeah, basics.
I
Yeah.
found one at the bus stop.
The red pack.
I don't know. I just found.
Oh,
I
you
just
just,
found like a 3/4 of one at the bus stop. I was like, this.
Oh, it
would
was
be-
already smoked?
Yeah. I mean, this- How do you think I started? This is then hid in the woods with my buddy. He's like, let's smoke this. They were smoking. Like, dude, Basics suck.
Yeah.
I
I
remember.
also smoked fucking Q-tips.
Smoke Q-tips.
I was trying to smoke sticks. We were like sticks on
Sticks.
fire. Yeah, we would do that. I mean, but you couldn't really.
That's
You
no
could-
good. You need like the Q-tips were at least like they were the plastic ones, so they had like a tube through it,
Yeah.
so you could smoke
Oh.
through one end of the cotton and light
You
the
just-
other cotton.
oh, okay,
So you're just
well.
smoking cotton. You never did.
Hell yeah.
God damn. I'm talking.
It is cool
This
to
is
smoke.
not good.
It was always cool when you were little. Like,
Oh yeah, you can get those Q-tips.
Yeah.
Nobody
Candy.
cared. If you tried to steal cigarettes, you get in trouble. But if you could steal 500 Q-tips, who gives a shit?
Did your mom or anybody smoke?
My mom smoked. Yeah.
Okay. Does she
Yeah.
still smoke?
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
So you could have stole those.
No, I don't think so. She was smoking. Now she rolls her own. I probably could, I could steal as many as I want now. But she was smoking Marlboros at the time. But no, I never stole any cigarettes from my mom ever.
Huh.
Smoked Q-tips and found them at the bus stop, and that was it.
You're a good boy.
I know.
Because I never stole money or anything, but I'd steal cigarettes all the
well, it's
time.
another thing too, because I always heard if your parents smoke, they can't smell it on you.
Absolutely.
So like, I would have gotten caught
Oh.
real quick if I would have.
Oh, because your folks don't smoke.
Yeah, if I would have
Okay.
stolen cigarettes.
We'd smoke those Q-tips, and we'd like have like a fire, So we'd smell like a campfire sort
Yeah.
of thing. We'd be
If
out
there's
fucking around in the woods.
I have a feeling this might be a 2-part episode anyway, but if the second part could be you're a total Q-tip smoker. Wow. Once again, I know these microphones probably didn't pick that up.
I
but
bet it did.
you know how we were talking about early Joe didn't fart? He just did.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
A good one means it's going to make us not feel good.
I've got these candles going.
Thank God. That's another reason why I brought him over.
Oh yeah. Very proud. Well,
Joe Kelley just shit his pants and lit a Q-tip up.
He's looking
Smoking
so
Q-tip.
relaxed.
Smoking Q-tip, give the Easter Bunny a call.
Prank call. I'll see you for Thanksgiving, Easter Bunny. What are you talking about, Joe?
So let's wind it down. What was your
Wind it down?
What was your favorite pizza, boys?
Oh, the deep dish. The deep dish DiGiorno.
DiGiorno deep
is
dish or-
almost as good as Jet's pizza.
So we have deep dish DiGiorno. They do have a good amount of sauce on there, or we have the
It's infinitely better.
the Reggios. Reggio's Pizza from Chicago.
Which is good. I bet their deep dish is It's not fair we did
One
deep dish
vote.
versus...
Well, yeah, it is. We gotta, I guess. Probably not. Yeah, we should have did the...
It's like a contest?
Chicago. Yeah, which...
I didn't know it was a contest.
Well, I thought that was it. I don't know. Which pizza did you like, Lewis?
Oh, the deep dish.
So good.
I'll give
DiGiorno's.
I'm going to give one for Reggio's just because I'm a good guy.
Well, I mean, the Reggio's
it wasn't
was just
better.
fine.
It's good. No, I like
But the
both.
deep dish. That's what DiGiorno's doing it right with that new deep dish shit. It's so good. It's
And can
they
I
put
also
the right
say-
amount of sauce on there.
All their other pizzas kind of suck.
I still like the stuffed crust.
The bistro or
We
whatever
got a
it
stuffed
is.
crust, and I think maybe we didn't cook it long. Part of me feels like, was this cooked long enough?
You got the bacon stuff. Was it like?
No, we just got a regular one.
Oh.
But this is a week ago, a week, 2 weeks ago, and it was not good. I remember having trouble even eating it.
I had no trouble eating it, but I just didn't think it was that great.
It wasn't good.
That's well.
But the regular DiGiorno is good, and their thin crust is really good. I like how for a second I felt bad for DiGiorno.
I want to apologize to the DiGiorno Corporation.
Hey,
and all
buddy,
the
I'm
people
not-
I've hurt.
I'm not saying you don't make any good pizzas.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, deep dish DiGiorno is the way to go
Thank you.
for now. It's been fun.
Have a nice night, everybody.
Been a good one. I think it went longer than we anticipated.
Yeah,
But
we set out for an hour.
I'm gonna watch.
I don't know how long it's been, but it's probably been forever. It's fucking yep.
We went over an hour.
It's okay. It was good times. We had good talks.
I'm gonna watch Josh and Joe get mad at each other over Madden and pretend like they're not.
Well, that'll require tequila.
And a 1 and a 2
And a 3. Goodbye. Goodbye.